Well, we finally did it. We're finally at the end of our road through the Shymalan-iverse. And with that being said, we have to stop at the theatrical release that just came out this past week. The culmination, bringing it all together. Unbreakable and Split in one movie. A movie called Glass. How will all three of these characters interact? And will it be a good film? We'll find out on a very collaboration edition of the Review. I had to do it.
I really thought, because I heard you load up the song, that you were just going to be like, on this very glass-shattering edition of the Review. We're just slamming beers together.
Yes.
Oh my god.
What?
Welcome to the Review, a show where two small-town dudes give you our big, shattering opinions. I'm Troy 316.
What?
We are doing the end of the road for the Shymalan-iverse.
Yes.
I guess for this whole continuation?
Yes.
Of Unbreakable?
Yes.
Stopping at Glass.
What could possibly be the end of this story?
Stick around. Find out.
Find out.
But yeah, so we are gonna dip our toes into that at the top of the hour, but before we go into that, we're gonna warm up these pipes with a little bit of news.
It's cold out. Gotta warm ourselves up with some news.
I think I actually, feel a minor workout that I did just by shoveling snow, because I have no real physical activity besides folding laundry and chasing a toddler around the last year of my life.
Yeah, some people, that's a full-time job right there.
But is it a workout? Only on your mind. Let's jump into the first bit of news I got, JT. That Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
That movie's still coming out. It's reportedly, its budget has ballooned up to $200 million with those reshoots that it had recently had, making it one of the... It's going to
be some Justice League money in this one.
One of the more expensive superhero films to come out, I think, through Fox lately.
Yeah. But they don't give a shit. They're not going to exist in...
Yeah,
they don't matter.
Go.
In fact, in a few months, they won't even be matter.
They'll just be coming out swinging, just dropping all the fliff they got. I can't imagine this is any good, and I gotta say they're gonna take a loss on this.
Well, we'll see.
Unless they...
It's superhero related, so chances are we're probably gonna see it.
I almost just want to see it regardless, because it's just taken so long to come out. It's like Batman v Superman or Justice League or Solo. Just you hear about all this weird shit going on with it.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this gonna end up being?
And the one trailer they put out for it, it looks like they're not doing anything different.
No. But it's like, what are you doing? That's taken so long. What's the holdup? It's like, I mean, I saw the latest Fantastic Four movie because of troubled production things.
Yeah.
That's like the only reason I saw it for.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the characters, but if I heard it was going to be garbage and I didn't care, I would be like, whatever. I don't need to see it. But... because I guess Josh Trank brought his dogs into the production and shit all over the place and everyone hates him now. I'm like, I want to see what this turned into. Turns out it was garbage, but...
I like looking at train wrecks too.
You can't look away. But also staying on that Fox train is that the New Mutants also has a bit of news going on with this too.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this?
No.
And I'm not trying to be funny Jay Leno about this,
Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
This is our serious Jay Leno.
Oh, shoot. What? I hope I didn't close that tab. No, it's right here. Okay. So the New Mutants is rumored to be delayed again.
Oh my god.
And possibly released on Hulu.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, despite the buyout of 20th Century Fox by Disney, it's still, I guess, on the slate to come out? I don't know.
Yeah.
So the film was originally supposed to be released on April 13th last year.
Mm-hmm.
Then it got delayed till February 22nd of this year.
Yeah.
And now it's been pushed back once again to August 2nd of this year.
Oh my god.
Though now the date has been called into question because of now the recent rumor that's going around. There is a gentleman called Scott Bechtel, and he has a podcast called Merc with a Podcast, that stated the director of Josh Boone, the director of the New Mutants, is having difficulty coming to terms with the final cut, and it could be released on Hulu this fall. And he's got some tweets to go along with it, and that's the reason why I also wanted to put it in the news, because it's funny. From the guy I was talking about, Scott Bechtel, I don't know how you say it, at Zombie High X23.
Yeah.
Just heard a whisper through the grapevine, hashtag New Mutants will be delayed again. Fox and Boone are really struggling coming to terms on a comprehensible finished product. They're looking to release it in early November, but Fox is still toying with a Hulu release in October for New Mutants. They're trying to decide which method would have more of a returnable value for an otherwise dead-on-arrival film.
I love that they've said they're trying to work towards a comprehensible film. Where it's like, if it would make no sense, they'd be all for it.
Right. Because as I was reading it,
if it was gobbledygook nonsense, it'd be out tomorrow.
Right. As I was reading it, I wanted to say work on a compromise. But it doesn't say that. It says coming to terms on a comprehensible finished product. And I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, so anyway, I thought that was rather funny.
Well, I hope it comes out on Hulu because it'd be easier for us to review.
Hell yeah, it would. So yeah, I'm looking for New Mutants to just be on Hulu. I don't want to go to the theater and see this.
I'm over I'll talk about my experience in Glass when we get to it.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those theater experiences.
I can't wait. I love theater stories.
Yeah. This is my first time in a while having to go on a Thursday night. And yeah.
Just save it. We'll save it.
All right.
Just tease it.
Tease
it. While we're still on Hulu news, JT, I got some Hulu news. Hulu is dropping its basic streaming video on demand platform.
Yeah.
$2 a month.
Wow.
Not $2, but it's dropping it $2 per month. So now the $7.99 plan is $5.99.
So they're going down, Netflix is going up.
That's right. Oh my goodness.
Good lord.
To compete with Netflix, Hulu dropped their standard price. Everything else, if you have the commercial free option, that's still staying the same price. But if you have their live TV option, that's actually going up in price by $5 a month.
Oh boy.
Right now it's costing you $39.99 a month for the Hulu Live.
Yeah.
And now it's going up to $45 a month.
Now,
I don't know. I know one person that has this.
Yeah.
And they say it's pretty good. They don't even have Netflix. They just have Hulu Live.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I thought, too. I'm like, because I was trying to ask him about some movie, because he's an avid movie watcher.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can't see that. I don't have Netflix. And it, stunned me that he didn't. I'm like, don't you just get Netflix now?
Yeah.
Just because? And he's like, no, I just have Hulu Live.
Yeah.
What?
Isn't every American supposed to have Netflix?
It's just like, I literally couldn't understand why he didn't have it. But anyway, he said he likes it, but I just don't care enough about live
I think you
TV.
get all of the on-demand stations for all the stations that you have.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
Which would be nice.
I don't know what all you. I think you still watch like sports and stuff, so that's be a good
yeah, that's
option.
probably yeah.
But I guess if that's all you have, like it's not that far out from if you have like HBO and Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff. You just have this Hulu Live program.
Yeah.
It's probably just as comparable as having all that other stuff too. You just miss out on a few things here or there, but hey, why not? Anyway, actually, I've been pretty. I was off of Hulu for a while and didn't watch it a lot. I've gotten back into it and I'm liking it quite a bit as a service.
Yeah. I think me and Molly watch Hulu a lot. There's I think it has a lot of sitcoms that we can just kind of play in the background while we're doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're like working our way through Married with Children right now.
Oh my god, I would love to go through that. There's a few things that I want to check out on Hulu that I just added to my list. Hopefully I can get to it.
Yeah.
But I actually have something later to bring up that I watched on Hulu.
Oh boy.
Be, dropping a little bit of knowledge on you.
Oh shit.
We already got. I didn't see all of the Oscar stuff that came out yet. All the noms for it.
The nom-nom-noms?
But the nom-nom-noms. I haven't seen any of those yet. Oh, I got good news.
Whoa!
That mouse is already dead that was living in my kitchen.
Hey!
Turns out there was a mouse in my kitchen last night and pooped all over my pots and pans.
Oh, no.
So I set out some traps, and it is dead already.
It is dead. Ding dong.
You got it live from Sea Danger. So it's... She also says she's not touching it, so I gotta throw it away. So it's just... I'm gonna walk into the kitchen for a dead mouse to look at me. Great. Anyway, that's my life right now. This is what my life has become. Anyway, one big snub of the Oscars already is the Mr. Rogers documentary wasn't even nominated for a Best Documentary Picture.
I know.
I haven't seen that yet. Have you?
I have. It is good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Is that on HBO? Oh, shit.
I don't think so. I want to say I saw it. Maybe I got the disc, but I don't know.
You're a pure discman.
Yeah. I'm quite the discman.
Well, anyway, I still want to see it. I heard it's touching.
It is quite touching.
Oh my God, I need to be touched.
It shows you that Mr. Rogers... You want to be touched by Mr. Rogers.
Touch me, mister. Yeah, I want to check that out. That's too bad. Better have some good ones in there, Oscars, to make up for your snub.
I heard they have that RBG one in there that I heard was really good.
Yeah. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Anytime anyone says...
Yeah, but Ginsburg.
Anytime anyone says RBG, I think of the BFG. I'm just like, I know that's not right. I know it's not about giants.
We need to do a crossover when RBG met the BFG.
That'd be a great flick.
And then we can watch a freaking weird, scrawny giant fart into a bottle in front of one of the Supreme Court justices.
Wearing a doily around her neck at all times. Another thing that I found pretty sweet this last week is that a trailer came out for Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah?
Did you check out some of this stuff?
I didn't see it.
Oh my god, it looks amazing.
Jesus. Okay.
It looks so good. And so they had like 6 or 8 playable characters for this demo that they were showing at the press conference.
Yeah.
They had Raiden in there. They had Baraka back.
Yeah.
Scorpion.
I heard that they're basing Sonya Blade on Ronda Rousey.
She did all the mocap.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So then they had Sonya, this new guy called like Garrett or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like Scarlet, who got like a whole redesign. Who she was in like previous games, but now they just kind of taken the name and just kind of retooled her character.
Yeah.
All the cinematics look great in it, like all the brutality and fatality moves. Like Baraka has one where if you like use a meter and get up close as a grab, he like goes in and stabs you and then bites a chunk of your arm off and it zooms in on it and he just pulls back muscle and you can see like tendons and sinew just snapping.
Good lord!
And I'm like, oh yeah! And like some of the moves, it's like they showed a fatality, I think, of one of the new guys where he just like he can turn to like sand.
Yeah.
And he'll like sand behind you.
Yeah.
And like punches the back of your head. So your face comes off and your brain comes out behind it.
Oh.
And like he literally punches his face off. Like it's so good. Anyway, I'm super excited to never get a PS4 to play this. But I am a huge Mortal Kombat fan.
Oh yeah, I had Mortal Kombat X and that shit was fun as hell.
Yeah. Oh my god. I just need to go out and buy it and then get in trouble for buying it and then never play it and then just live in that sulking brute.
Go play Mortal Kombat in the doghouse.
The last bit of news I got, JT, before you can jump into yours, is that Black Widow, the Marvel MCU character extraordinaire,
Yeah.
is reportedly having her film start filming as early as the end of February. And that kind of surprises me, because I haven't heard much at all about this movie.
No.
Just that it might possibly happen.
Yeah.
And for it to be like filming possibly in like 30 days, I'm just actually surprised.
Yeah. I know. I haven't heard too much about it either.
So I don't know. Maybe it will happen. I always thought it was going to be that thing that's always perpetually on the table but never really comes to fruition.
Yeah, especially because we don't even really know the fate of Black Widow in the after
Right.
Endgame.
Post Endgame.
Post Endgame.
In a post Endgame world.
Yeah, in the Endgame post show.
Yeah, I don't know. But, we can see the new Spider-Man trailer where everyone's pretty much alive.
Yeah. It'd be funny if they just show every Avenger and they just have a big group get together.
A group photo!
Hey, everybody! Hey, everybody! Remember when we survived in Avengers Endgame?
They called Avengers Endgame. Remember when we all survived? It was fun.
Yeah. Boy, that was a great time. All those events that took place.
See the trailer for Spider-Man. That'd be so funny. So yeah, I get ready, people, because Black Widow may be happening sooner.
She's
than
coming.
we think. I'm not even really excited about a Black Widow movie, to be honest, though.
Yeah, I don't know what they would do. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's if they were to announce a Hawkeye movie, I would even feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care, really.
I'm too busy not being excited about a Captain Marvel movie right now. I have no time to not be excited about a Black Widow movie.
Right. And I hate saying it because I just sound like a fucking sexist coming off and saying it. But maybe I am just kind of getting sick of it. Like, we're getting 2 this year, almost like back to back.
Yeah.
And then our year's going to be pumped full of like Disney films.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, like it's beginning. It's been much for a while, and now it's just starting to like wear on me a lot.
Yeah. You're joining me, Troy. You're coming to the dark side.
Probably just the sensible side.
It's the Dave Chappelle Rick James gift where it's just like, come to me.
I mean, I can only assume they're trying to get as many of these out as possible before everyone just stops caring at all. But even then, like, does oversaturation make you feel like you want it done more?
Yeah.
Rather than have them spread them out like to one a year?
I know.
I don't know. But if they do that, then it takes too long to get where you're going, and so I have no idea. I don't know.
And
what
then
the
it looks
answer is.
like Disney is gonna try and double down on all this shit when they're taking back all their Netflix stuff. So it's like, so you're gonna take all of it back and do what differently? I don't
know, because then they're putting like a low key series on their streaming service, and like a Vision and Scarlet Witch series, maybe. I don't care about any of that shit. Like, just give me the heavy hitters. Maybe a Black Widow movie would be great. A spy espionage action movie.
Sure.
I'm all for it, but I just can't get excited about it right now.
I know. These
don't
are
know.
characters we've seen for years on end. I want to see something different.
Yeah. It's true. Anyway.
Troy, the Oscars.
Yes, Joel, the Oscars.
The Oscars. They had their nom nom noms this past week, and they have 8 nominations for Best Picture.
Okay.
It is Black Klansman, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody,
Okay.
The Favorite,
Okay.
Green Book,
Okay.
Roma,
Okay.
A Star Is Born,
Okay.
and Vice.
Okay. All right.
I've seen 4 of these. Yes, I've seen 4 of them.
Well, do you have a favorite to win? I think
Out of the
I've
4
because Chelsea did mention a few of them when she heard
5. I've seen 5. I can't. Black Panther does.
she told me that Black Panther, that was like the biggest news this last week, was like Black Panther's nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't think it is, but
No, it is. It's just I think it's more of it's a culturally significant.
yeah,
as opposed to being a good movie.
Yes, I understand.
It's good for what it is. I'll give it that.
I don't. Yes.
We'll just-
yes.
It's a good start.
I'm not gonna dig myself into a hole.
Okay.
We reviewed it already. We have our feelings on it.
Yeah, go back and listen to our review.
Do you have any predictions on that Best Picture winner? I have mine, but I'm going based off not knowing much about like 2 or 3 of those movies.
Well, I think the ones that won the Golden Globe, like Green Book won for Best Comedy and Bohemian Rhapsody won for Best Drama.
I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody is gonna win.
I hope to God it doesn't. That would be fucking terrible if Bohemian Rhapsody won.
Yeah, I think I'm just going for A Star Is Born.
I
That's
want
the
to
one I'm rooting
say I
for.
think Roma's probably going to win because there's a lot of people giving it a lot of buzz, and it is well shot, and it's I think it's more of an art house film. Like you're supposed to take it more on its visual aesthetic as opposed to like the story. But like me and Molly saw it, and I mean it's pretty good for what it is.
What's it about again?
You're pretty much following like it's like a maid in a small town, or not even a small town, just like a town in Mexico that takes care of this family, and you're kind of seeing like it's kind of like more like a slice of life kind of film where like you're seeing her and this family go through different things, and like I don't know, like I enjoyed it. Like it didn't blow me away in terms of like the story, but I mean it looks really nice. And like the guy that did it, like that, I think it's that Alfonso Cuarón.
Okay.
Like he's known for like just really
nice looking pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think from what I've heard, I think Roma's probably the favorite to win.
Okay. That makes sense.
Which would be big because it's like a Netflix exclusive. It'd be like the first film to do that, to win Best Picture.
But it was in theaters, though, right?
Yeah, I think it was
they
in
gave a
theaters for like a
theatrical
couple.
release.
It was like a couple weeks before it debuted on Netflix. But
Yeah.
it's like a Netflix produced film.
Okay. I think that's a reason they nominate it, but then they wouldn't give it to it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh well, Hollywood didn't.
Yeah, because I even read that AMC, they usually put out all of the Best Picture films in their theaters around this time, and they refused to put Roma in.
AMC is gonna
I know, they're
suck
just-
on a dick.
They're just so fucking paranoid that they're gonna get fucking shut out by all these streaming services. But
I don't know. Times change, man.
yeah,
Theaters need to do something besides just serve beer there. An overpriced beer to get people in to see
No
their
shit.
stuff now.
yeah. Although the beer's not too bad at that one near the mall.
Oh, well, yeah, it's not that.
I mean, it could be better. But
Like what it was
being
before?
Being a theater. Yeah. Oh yeah, before Jesus Christ.
That was the best
wanted,
deal.
Yeah, they wanted you to black out in their theater. The one before.
You just buy a bucket full of
Yeah.
beers.
You could get a bucket full of 5 beers for $10.
Yeah.
And like any beer.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just go in and fuck for a 90-minute movie and have 5 beers.
Yeah.
Just be fucked.
Fucking Christ.
And this one, you can only bring... They give you, like, the pint cans or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like 3 or... maybe it's
depending on
$5.
what you get. Like, I always
Yeah.
get the nicer one, so it's like $4, I think.
Yeah.
Which I guess isn't too bad. It's like the same as, like, getting at a bar.
Yeah, for like a bar, yeah.
But
for inflated-ass theater prices, that's pretty good.
yeah, I suppose you're right. But then you can only bring in that 1 pint.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm sitting, like, down to, like, a Marvel movie that's like 2.5 hours long, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to get up and get another one. I just give me 2.
Yeah.
And they won't.
Yeah. Or send a waitress.
Yeah, that won't be distracting. Have you ever been to Hollywood Boulevard?
No.
They like serve food there in the theater room,
Yeah.
and it's like waitresses and stuff coming out and serving food to you.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's also kind of distracting when they're like going around and picking up all your food and stuff when you're like at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever.
Yeah,
and
why
they
can't
make you have a 1-item minimum purchase when you
Jesus.
go there. So it's like, whatever. Just give me a bottle of water, you bitch, and get out of here. Why am I so bitter?
You sound like a really good patron of this establishment.
I guess I can't complain. I had a friend that worked there, so I would just go in and see movies for free anyway. So I guess I could pay to give something to the people who serve me there, I guess. By getting a water. Anyway, what else are we talking about? Oh, yeah, I think I said A Star is Born. That's the one I picked. But
Yeah.
I don't know anything about The Favorite. And I've heard a few people talk about it this last week. I'm like, I couldn't even tell you what that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't heard too much about it, but it must be good. Who knows?
Who knows, indeed.
Who knows? Well, Troy, with Best Picture at the Oscars, we got to talk about the Razzies also putting out their nominations. Their nominations for Worst Picture. We have Gotti, of course.
Yeah.
The Happy Time Murders.
Okay.
Holmes and Watson.
Okay.
Robin Hood.
Okay.
And Winchester.
Oh, really? That wasn't received well.
No, I don't. Yeah, I heard it's kind of a
Helen
mess.
Mirren in it?
Yeah, I heard it's kind of a mess.
All right.
So there you
Fair
go.
enough.
There you go. Those are the 5 nominees for Worst Picture at the
Okay.
Razzies. We saw Gotti.
Boy, did we. What do you think, though, compared to all those other ones, that one would take the worst movie?
Man, I can't see how it wouldn't. I mean, it's almost incomprehensible.
Yeah.
I've heard Holmes and Watson's is really bad, though.
Just groan-inducingly bad.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
so bad that Netflix didn't even want to have it.
Yeah, but I bet Holmes and Watson has a narrative you can follow.
I think maybe.
Gotti, I can't even tell you, like, what Gotti's purpose was. Like, what was the purpose of all of the footage that we witnessed in Gotti?
I think it was, like, supposed to be a semi-biopic, kind of?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's based on events from... But, like, he'll legit show you events that don't pertain to, like, the narrative of the story. It's just, hey, watch him go to the dentist and then shoot a guy. For what? It was cool.
Well, yeah, because he could.
It was good. Then watch him talk about how his balls are on his face or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, there's so much shit in it that doesn't pertain to any kind of story. It's just the fucking dude from Entourage jerking off over these scenes.
Yeah, I could see maybe Gotti taking it then. But then Happy Time Murders was a huge swing.
Yeah. Well, I might talk about Happy Time Murders later.
Oh my, spoilers. So yeah, I don't know. I'm more confident on saying what would win an Oscar than what a Razzie, and none of this matters.
Yeah. Nothing else matters.
Not at all.
Troy, Nicolas Cage. We loved him in that Mandy.
He's back in a big way.
He's back in a big way, folks. And in fact, he's going to be teaming with the producers of Mandy
Mm.
for a film based on a story by H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, a bit of tentacle porn?
Yeah. I saw what the name was. It's like something in space.
Tentacle
Color
porn.
Out of Space, it's called.
Okay. All right. Based on H.P. Lovecraft?
Yeah.
So, I haven't been much into H.P. Lovecraft. I just kind of knew it was all, like, Cthulhu-based stuff.
Yeah.
And then, this last year, GHD has been making me get more into it for, like, readings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been finding it more interesting. But then the more you hear about H.P. Lovecraft and how he was, like, a huge racist, just turns me off a little bit. Like, do I need to really champion his work of, like, a full-blown racist?
Yeah. Do we need to support this gross individual?
But then the stuff that he created, like, I don't know, is pretty influential in horror, so it's like, Anyway,
I mean, he's long dead.
Oh, of course he is. But
so, I mean, unless his family or the people that are profiting from all of this are also horrible racists.
I'm just saying, like,
I mean,
I've gotten more into the whole Lovecraft thing recently, and I'm more interested to see this than I would be, like, if you asked me, like, a year ago.
Yeah.
Because really, I'm not a huge Nick Cage fan either.
I like Nick Cage.
I like him, but, like, when he's in something, I'm like, okay. Like, I'm not like, I need to see this. And that probably makes many people mad, including GHD. But I'm just like, he doesn't, like...
He's about ready to bust through this window to hit you in the face with a copy of Blade.
Yeah. Just busts through, like, the Kool-Aid Man and just says, Nick Cage!
Nick Cage!
But, yeah, anyway, I don't know. So,
he's gonna toss you in the Nick Cage.
Fill it full of bees.
They're in my eyes! Troy, we watched that Mission Impossible Fallout on the show.
Uh-huh.
We were pretty big fans of it.
Yes.
Christopher McQuarrie,
Uh-huh.
the director of said movie, said that he wants to bring back Alec Baldwin and Henry Cavill for the sequel. It won't work for either of them, because, spoilers for Mission Impossible Fallout, they both die.
I couldn't remember if Alec Baldwin did or not, but Henry Cavill definitely does.
Oh, he...
Does he get chain hooked in the face and then explodes?
Spoiler, yeah. Big spoiler for Fallout. But yeah, he gets hooked in the face.
Chain hooked?
Chain hooked in the face.
Huh. All right. Maybe it's a flashback.
Maybe it's a flashback.
Maybe Mission Impossible Fallout was all a dream.
Yeah. The next one's gonna just start with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey just going. First scene in the next Mission Impossible.
Didn't McQuarrie do the fifth one too?
Yes.
Huh. Wow. They have a lot of faith in the fella.
Well, I think he's being championed by Tom Cruise.
Oh, well then Scientology.
Yeah.
Got it.
I even heard a story where Christopher McQuarrie didn't want to do them anymore, and then Tom Cruise pretty much freed up his schedule to make sure that's all he can do.
My God. Tom Cruise gave him some evil Scientology curse.
I guess.
Cursed him to only do Mission Impossible movies. They're good.
Yeah.
They're it was one of my favorite movies of last year.
I know. They're so good that I want to see him doing something else.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, well. All right. We'll see how all that turns out then, huh? How about it?
Yeah. Troy, Baby Driver. Did you ever get around to seeing Baby Driver?
No, I haven't yet. I saw that it's on something. One of the streaming services, I think.
Really?
I thought I did. Maybe it's on that coveted Hulu I've been talking about.
God.
Let me look it up.
Sacred Hulu. Anyways, Edgar Wright said that a Baby Driver 2 first draft of a script has been made.
Oh. Has Edgar Wright ever... Well, I would say ever done a sequel, but he did that Cornetto trilogy type thing, but that wasn't necessarily...
Not necessarily like sequels, though. Yeah, I don't know if he's actually done like a full-fledged sequel to anything.
Was Baby Driver that well received that it was championing for a sequel?
I know it was I think it was definitely a passion project of Edgar Wright's, though.
Oh, wasn't he like working on it like forever?
Yeah, like he was really into the whole like matching up the action to the music and stuff. I really want to go back and rewatch Baby Driver. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I think I might have bought it.
Oh, never mind. You can only buy it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
For $10. Or if you have Showtime, it's on Showtime.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Nobody has Showtime.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Huh. Well, I'll get around to seeing it sometime.
There you go. So Baby Driver 2 might be in the near future.
Got it.
Keep your eyes peeled.
I will. I'll try to see the first one.
Yeah. Preferably see that before the second one. So Joel, I saw Baby Driver 2, made no sense.
Didn't get it. F-.
My last bit of news, Troy. Kevin Hart. He's everywhere. Not doing the Oscars, though, but he's everywhere.
Right.
And it seems like his next project is that he's going to star in the Monopoly movie. I have no idea what this is going to consist of.
I heard this
Are we just going to watch Kevin Hart buy buildings for an hour and a half?
I heard this like earlier this last week, and I'm like, I'm going to instantly forget about this because I don't care anything about this at all.
And then you remembered that you forgot about it when I brought it up.
I do not care about this. I care about this the least amount I care about anything. How about that?
Okay.
Sorry, Kevin Hart.
I'll allow it.
I hope you get a lot of money for this.
I hope he doesn't. He has enough.
He needs to strike while it's hot, and his iron is cooling down. So get your money and get out, Kevin Hart.
Get the fuck out of here.
Put it in a Roth IRA to get champion your retirement. Have little bit parts then.
Yeah.
To champion the rest of your career till you pass away. That's uplifting.
Everything is uplifting when it ends with the death of the person you're talking about.
I don't know, man. I've just seen fucking Boss Baby so many times that I'm just a cold.
Well, hopefully we have a remedy
man.
for that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Anyway, that's all you got.
That's all I got, Troy.
In all seriousness, did anyone pass away this last week?
I
didn't hear about anything.
No, I don't think so.
Well, then I suppose it would be done.
It's done, I guess.
It's done, I guess. I only have 2, JT.
I also only have 2.
If you don't mind, I'll start out.
Okay.
Shazam had a sneak peek come out this last week. Showed a little bit more of the film. Showed a little bit more action against that Mark Strong character, Dr. Sivana.
Yeah.
That he'll be playing with.
Yeah.
Looks fun. It's probably my favorite thing of Shazam that I've seen so far.
I saw this too, and it was really cool when he jumps off the building and then the lightning bolt strikes him.
And then zips off.
Yeah, he zips out of that big cloud.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I do. Like, look! Shazam! Audio.
Very visual.
Audio medium. Anyway, I got a Shazam toy in my fridge that you bestowed upon me.
Yes.
I love it. Anyway, I'm super excited about Shazam. With Aquaman being fun and me liking Shazam more than Aquaman, hopefully I have a good time with this.
Yeah.
So, otherwise I'll be just cripplingly depressed. I'd put all my money into Shazam.
Everything you've brought up has ended with something depressing.
But yeah, anyway, that's it. The Shazam sneak peek.
All right.
And then the other one I got, I think you have too, so I'll just chime in when you got.
Okay.
Go in on that one.
One of the trailers I saw was a trailer for a film called "The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot."
Mm-hmm. I heard.
This looks awesome.
I, for whatever reason, keep forgetting about this film. I heard about it, like, mentioned forever ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds like a very interesting premise. And then left my mind. And then I saw the trailer came out. I missed this trailer. But I heard you watching it, and I'm like, oh my God. I need to hear this and see this for myself. But yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no,
I talked a lot for not seeing it at all.
But no, like the fact that the guy's played by Sam Elliott
Yeah.
is just amazing.
Yeah.
And then like just making a guy that's both killed Hitler and Bigfoot. It's just
a champion.
Yeah. It's so good. Like I don't even know what else to say. It just looks and it's like lower budget, but like I almost kind of want it that way. I don't want like any like weird commercialized like
right
action scenes. It's just this old man who's a badass who killed Hitler back in the day, and now he is trouncing through the woods with a rifle, ready to fucking shoot Bigfoot and kill his ass.
Yes, I love it. I heard Sam Elliott's voice. I would just listen to Sam Elliott read anything. And
no shit.
I would
He's
just
the
be
best.
Oh my God. It's just the most badass voice ever.
I know.
Is Sam Elliott.
Yeah. Like he plays Bradley Cooper's brother in A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
And he has like just these he just has like not that many scenes, but they're so fucking good because it's fucking Sam Elliott.
Yeah. Like Chelsea watched a good chunk of The Ranch on Netflix or whatever it was on.
That's right.
And Sam Elliott is like a main character in that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want to watch it at all.
Yeah.
But then Sam Elliott would come on screen, he'd say something, and I'd just be transfixed onto Sam Elliott. I'm like, he could really say anything. He'd be spouting off some racist shit, and I'd be like, good point.
Yeah.
He says it with such conviction.
I know, even down to like The Big Lebowski, where he just plays a weird like cowboy that shows up randomly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, good.
Yep. It's good.
Can't turn it down.
There's only a few people that have that effect on me. Like, it's Sam Elliott, Keith David, who's got that sweet voice, and like, I don't know, the guy who does Optimus Prime's voice. I can never remember what his name is.
James Earl Jones is good.
Oh, James Earl Jones, yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like, oh my God, those are just iconic, just regular people's voices.
Bless them.
Bless them.
Bless them.
Bless them. And maybe David Attenborough.
Well, he's just calming. So calming.
Mm-hmm.
My last trailer, Troy, they put out one for John Wick 3.
Yep.
Parabellum.
Yep.
I just fucking love John Wick.
I still haven't seen the second one.
Yeah.
Is it, I guess I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, really? I didn't think it really changed the game.
Yeah, I like the first one just because they do a bunch of like crazy gun shit in it.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like the first one, but the second one, like I saw the second one and they do get more cartoonish with it.
Okay.
So I think you'll like the second one.
Good.
But yeah, Jesus Christ, yeah, it's good. It's good. Like they get more like assassins with like gimmicks and shit in the second one. Like I'm pretty sure a sumo wrestler fights Keanu Reeves in like a subway station at one point.
Cool.
In the
Full
second
diaper?
one. I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But like Yeah, it's like a bunch of like weird assassin gimmicks.
All
Like,
right.
Lawrence Fishburne is like a hobo that
Yeah.
runs like an assassin army where like they hide as hobos and like they'll just pick people off being homeless people.
Sweet.
But like, yeah, no, I love John Wick 2, but John Wick 3 looks like hella fun too.
Yeah.
Like there's fucking Keanu Reeves on a horse. Like they have a
Oh,
shot
yeah.
where
I forgot
Keanu
about
Reeves is
that.
on a horse and he just like rides up to somebody and just like shoots them directly in the head. Like he just like matches the speed of a guy on a motorcycle and shoots him execution style.
Right. What's weird about like Keanu Reeves is that he can make like a movie like John Wick and it's like universally praised.
Yeah.
And then he can also have a movie that came out this year. What's it called? Like
Replicas.
I
heard it's
and
awful.
it's just dog shit.
Ugh. That might need to be our have to keep an eye on it. That might be our leftover turkey this year.
Somebody was talking about it on another show I was listening to, and they're like, this seemed like a movie that was shot in 2014 that's just now being released. They just it looks no good. Like, what are they talking about clones for? Nobody cares about clones. I'm like, I don't know.
It's like clones and robots.
Ooh,
Like I heard.
robo clones.
Yeah, it's like either or.
Yeah, either or. Great. Well,
Yeah, and I guess, and they show Holly Berry in it too.
mm-hmm.
She plays like an assassin that has 2 German shepherds.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like she just like busts into a room and just starts laying waste to dudes while German shepherds are like fucking like mauling them.
Just chewing their asses up.
I know, it looks hella fun.
Yes, sir. All right, you won me over. John Wick 3.
John Wick 3.
Parabellum?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Great. Well, JT, what do we have for
Means
that
got the
mean old tourney?
The Turnaround movie.
I did see the results of this tournament earlier today.
Oh, really?
It was a shocking landslide victory.
Yes. It shows how good of a show producer I am because no one even touched Overlord. We almost did it for a show, and now I've found out that no one could give a fuck less about it.
I actually forgot to vote on this one. I realized today because I'm like going over some like notes that I want to do for the show, and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't think I voted. And I went, it's like the poll was already closed, and I was upset with myself.
Yeah.
But I was gonna vote for Overlord.
Really?
Yeah. And then it's just like, well, 100% of the people who voted
It wouldn't have made any difference. really.
don't want to see that at all. So fuck me. But yeah, what was the other one it was against?
Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Which won?
Yeah. 100% landslide
100%
victory.
landslide win for Children of Men, so it'll move on in the tournament alongside The Edge, The Amazing Spider-Man, Platoon, and Drag Me to Hell.
Platoon.
Platoon. So there we go. Pretty good tournament so far, Troy, do you think?
I think so.
Good?
I think so. The ones that are moving on, I think would be an interesting watch.
Good? Good? Good.
It's good.
That means we got our next matchup. We've got 3 more matchups in the first round, Troy.
Okay. Lay them on me.
So
lay this one on me at least.
Well, yeah, get it easy. Take it easy now.
I'll pump the brakes.
Take it easy now. First one from 2015 is a film about time travel.
Oh.
And the one from 2004 is a natural disaster film.
Okay.
The one from 2015 probably won't help you too much. The tagline, to fix the past, would you risk your future?
Looper.
It is not Looper.
Oh.
It is one that probably sucks more than Looper. It is the film Project Almanac.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah, I think you said you brought it up
Okay.
before.
Project Almanac. Something I've seen it and completely have forgotten most of it.
I want to say it's like an MTV film too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering as much as I am about it, I think it is a MTV produced film.
So there you go. Project Almanac.
There you have it. Okay.
In the running, and it's up against a film from 2004, Natural Disaster. The tagline this year: "A sweater won't do."
Is it The Day After Tomorrow?
It is The Day After Tomorrow, Troy.
Okay. I'm trying to put myself back into high school and remember what movies came out in 2004.
Yeah. So Time Travel versus Natural Disaster. Project Almanac versus The Day After Tomorrow. Troy, which one are you looking towards?
I would usually lean towards probably the time travel aspect of this. Because I'm not a huge natural disaster type film lover.
Yeah.
But I've seen Project Almanac.
Yeah.
And I don't remember thinking it's that great. I don't think it's that bad either. It's just as a movie.
Yeah.
But I also think that's also The Day After Tomorrow. Like, I don't think either one of them are, like, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Maybe The Day After Tomorrow wasn't, like, a spectacle in 2004 with its effects.
Yeah.
But I think since it's going to look maybe dated.
I think Day After Tomorrow would be more interesting because it's got, like, Jake Gyllenhaal, like a young Jake Gyllenhaal in it. And,
I've seen both of these, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember feeling stoked about either one of them. So just toss them up.
Toss it up.
Either one will get my same reaction.
There
okay.
Oh, cool.
That'll move on and probably not make it to the finale.
This will be another one of those, well, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
After this,
So, vote! People, I know I've just stoked the fire of that tournament round, but
this is Troy's Rock the Vote here. I'll just do whatever.
Do whatever you want. I don't know.
We're fucked either way.
It was a push. They both advance all the way to the end.
Yeah. We have to watch them both. There you go. Project Almanac versus The Day After Tomorrow. Get your votes in. They count.
You bet they do. Well, JT, that'll put us back into the shoes and the mind of M. Night Shyamalan.
I hate water.
With our review of Glass, dropping January 18th in 2019.
Yeah.
With a budget of $20 million that was all up front by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. You believed in this one.
It domestically so far has made $50.3 million, and worldwide more than doubled that at $104.2 million.
Oh, wow.
Rotten Tomatoes has it at 37%.
Not good.
Not good. IMDb has it more positive at 7.1 out of 10. Metacritic has it at 42%.
Yeah.
And everymoviehasalesson.com
Jesus Christ.
gave it 2 stars.
What a convoluted ass website. Everymoviehasalesson.com.
Yeah. I didn't read
What are they, an emo band?
I don't... It could be a Panic at the Disco song title for all I know. I don't... But I don't know... I didn't read the review. I just looked for a actual score.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it did find a lesson or 2 in there.
Yeah, I found 2 lessons.
2 stars.
2 stars for 2 lessons.
A star per lesson. This...
Well, the low scores are justified because you brought it up in your charm type show that a lot of people gave you shit.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring that up actually on this show. So thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna go up to my page.
Yeah. You received a lot of abuse from a lot of people on Facebook.
What the hell
for saying you were going to go see this.
So, right before I was gonna go see the theater, see the movie, going to see Glass at 2:40 at the theater we go to. If anyone's interested, hit me in the DMs. Got 10 comments quickly on that reply. And I'm just going to go down the line. Nah, I'm good. Hard pass. The movie isn't good. Not worth it. Not worth it, Troy. Then Chelsea chimed in. What Paul said. Hard pass on glass. Then her buddy Big A. Can I hit you in the DMs about not glass-related things? Then Zeesh, want to go to the bar? And then another friend of ours, Ryan, said he would have gone with me all the way to the movie with me.
Yeah, one positive
one. I did get one person hitting me in the DMs. Our friend PK said, "Are you there?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Nothing else." So, needless to say, I did not see him show up at the theater.
Yeah.
So everyone was against me seeing this movie.
Mm-hmm.
JT, you had a story you started and teased. What did you want to bring up?
Yeah, I went to this on the Thursday before it came out, because it was the one time of the week that Molly Pop goes to her second job, that she only goes to because she has a friend that works there. She doesn't see a lot. So it was the one time of the week where I could go, where I wouldn't be guilt-tripped into staying at home. And I'm not a big fan of going to films like the day before they come out, because then a lot of like the weird nerd people go,
right? Or
just like, I don't know, like weird high schoolers are like, "Oh, we're going to see a movie before it's supposed to come out. We're so fucking badass."
Right.
And this time it was the latter, because I sat next to like 4 high school girls, where every time like the action ramped up and like the music started getting louder, they would just fucking scream at each other, to the point where like when it finally calmed down, they were still screaming, and people were like, "The fuck." Like this is like, I think one of the only times I've been into a movie where they sent someone from the lobby to watch them to make sure they stopped yelling.
Really?
Because they would just, they were just like talking. They were talking the whole fucking movie, and then when it would get like louder, then they would like adjust their volume to the volume of the movie, and then they would just keep going. Like it would like ramp down and be like, "Yeah, that's what I told them," and you were like, "The fuck." You can go to like a fucking teen center. You don't have to be at fucking Glass to have these fucking conversations, you stupid.
Did you go to the one by the mall? Or did you go to AMC to see this?
I went to the one by the mall.
Okay. That's even more inappropriate.
Yeah.
Because that mall, the mall theater has like the cool like recliner seats in there.
Yeah.
It's got new screens. Everything's updated.
Yeah.
So you can like sit down and relax and enjoy something.
Yeah.
To have somebody just fucking...
Yeah, because they would like, while the movie was going on, they were like whispering and shit, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of annoying, but I can get past this. But then like when like the music would ramp up, they would like be like, oh shit, we can get away with just talking normally or even yelling. So they would do that, and then when it would calm down, they would like do like that shit where it's like, and then I said, oh no, it's down, never mind. And everyone's just like, what the fuck?
Did you have a full house?
It wasn't full. I think it was like maybe 75% full.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like one of the worst. It was probably one of the worst patrons I've seen at a film, where they were just like fucking yelling at like.
God.
At times when they thought they could get away with it, they would yell at each other and like fucking laugh about guys they wanted to fuck or something, I guess.
That sounds like it sucks. My theater experience, I went to the same one. My theater experience was not that bad. In fact, I like going to showings like right after I get out of work.
Yeah.
Because it's like in the early afternoon. And usually nobody but senior citizens are at the theater.
Oh, yeah.
And no senior citizen wanted to see Glass.
That was one of my favorite experiences. Like, when I was going to college, I would, like, if I had a day where, like, I didn't have any more classes after 3, I would go to a movie.
Yeah.
Because it was, like, no one's there except old people, and they're just there because they're just waiting to die.
Right.
So
like, I guess the only gripe I did have with going to see it is, like, for whatever reason... For this time, like, the lobby was packed full of people. Like, an odd amount of people there at, like, 2:40 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
and like every cash register had a man at it, like taking ticket stubs and orders and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And like 75% of them were all senior citizens. And like one of the kids at one of the registers was like, I can help somebody over here. And like I was just kind of standing there waiting, and there's just like a congregation of like older women just like chit-chatting with each other. And then I like looked at the guy.
Is book club still here?
I like looked at the guy who said like he could help somebody, and I like looked at the old ladies, and I'm just like, can I go? Like, is it something? And so like I finally was like, are you in line? It's like, oh no, I've had my ticket. And I want to be like, get the fuck out of here. Go to your theater room.
You blue-haired bitch.
God. I'll have one, please, for glass. And of course, I will have that pint of beer. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, the
find your grandsons who can stuff you in a home. You old bag.
Anyway, then I went to see Glass, and there was like 10 people in the theater room. So I was like, good. Except there was like one weird part of the movie, like, I want to say like maybe the last third. I don't know if the audio got screwed up, but it seemed like very loud. Like over like the not just the audio, but the dialogue.
Yeah.
Was like super loud over like the music track. And I'm like, is that the movie, or is that somebody running the boards upstairs?
Maybe. I don't know.
Did you have that?
I don't think I remember that.
Oh well. Whatever then. I'll just chalk it up to some teen upstairs running the boards. Anyway, what happened?
Shyamalan lost the Oscar for sound editing.
Yeah. What happened in Glass?
Well, we follow a older David Dunn from Unbreakable, who is currently on the case of a mysterious individual who is kidnapping young women in random places that could very well be the Horde from Split. And while this confrontation is starting to escalate, there is a woman on the outskirts who is a doctor who might be trying to find a way to capture said individuals and convince them that these so-called powers that they think they have might not even exist.
Whoa. Glass.
Including Mr. Glass from Unbreakable 2.
Obviously
He's also in there as well.
Hold on, I gotta write down a note that I found funny. Okay. So this does, I think, a pretty decent job of like being a culmination of the two films that come before it.
Yeah.
I never felt that the universes couldn't be together. Like, I thought even at the end of Split, when it's like, oh, turns out it's the Unbreakable universe. I'm just like, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can do that. And like jumping into this world too, I'm like, all right, it still feels pretty copacetic. I liked that they brought a lot of the old characters back from especially Unbreakable.
Yeah. I feel like every one of like the three main characters had like their own like support character from their lives. I think they even brought back the son from Unbreakable.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like his son from 20 years ago that was actually in Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Is his son in this.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I like that.
Yeah.
Even, because M. Night Shyamalan always cameos in his own movies.
Yeah.
And this isn't really a spoiler or anything, but he plays the same character.
Yeah. He finds a way to make his arc complete in this, where he's both the guy from Unbreakable who like tried to bring something illegal into the game.
Right.
And also the security guy for the psychiatrist from Split.
Right. So if you were worried that you wouldn't get a complete arc,
same guy.
Get it.
Yeah. If you're on the edge of your seat wondering, is that the same M. Night Shyamalan from Unbreakable? It is.
Does he continue his arc from Split? He does.
Yeah, he makes it a point to point out for no reason that he's the same guy from both Unbreakable and Split.
Now, to be honest, I didn't catch that he was all... Because I totally forgot about Unbreakable, that he was in it. And he was the guy who was, like, maybe selling drugs at the stadium.
Yeah, he was bringing drugs. It's like... And this is that weird scene where, like, Bruce Willis is like, are you trying to bring something in here? And he's just like, I don't know. Like,
no. I think it's a full pat down and nothing happens. But yeah, somebody told me that, and I'm like, oh yeah, fun. So that's all well and good.
It's so I love it just because it's so forced. It's like, hey, you worked at the football stadium 15 years ago. I used to live around there. Granted, I ran with a pretty sketchy crowd around that time, but now I work as the security advisor for the psychiatrist. Where it's like, okay, fine. All of that shit, you're the same person. We fucking get it.
Right.
Like, he had to make sure that was put in there because everyone was fucking waiting to see why M. Night Shyamalan was apparently two different characters, but then he had to fucking make it so that he's the same character.
Right. And it didn't come off as offensive as what we're saying. But, like,
no,
I thought it was funny.
He literally spells it out. Like,
Yeah,
he's not... no one asks him about his life. He legit...
And no one ever would.
No one gives a shit. He's just at Bruce Willis's security place buying shit and then just happens to start a conversation where he talks about himself.
Right.
So that it fucking ties all of these unneeded loose ends that he's making.
Except he did have, like, one of the lines in this that did make me laugh. Because Bruce Willis is like, I'm gonna go out for a walk, which is code for, like, I'm going on patrol or whatever.
Right.
He's like, I don't think you should go for a walk, Dad.
That was pretty good, where he was like, let him walk, dude. Just let your dad go for a walk.
Like, Jesus, what are you doing? Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, no, that was good.
So we can not talk about that anymore.
Now that we're done with the M. Night Shyamalan arc.
Also, McAvoy's back in this playing Kevin and a myriad of other people in this.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that his main personalities are back from Split. His
they added other ones, Troy.
I know, I have that down.
They added
More
other
personalities.
ones.
I was appeased to no end to this.
I think I counted a grand total of 20.
Yeah, because he had his main three. He had Hedwig,
Patricia, Dennis,
and Dennis. And then he also, and then, like, the Beast, obviously. But then he also had more. He had some that didn't even speak English.
Yeah, there was one that spoke Spanish.
And then he had more,
some, like, weird frat guy bro.
That one was fun. He had, like, a guy that spoke, like, Scottish. He had, like, a horny chick that was, like... he was a horny chick that was, like, trying to come on to the orderly.
No, she was from the... Jade? She was from Split.
Was she?
The diabetic.
Oh.
She was on the video journal thing, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're right. But anyway, yeah, they had tons more. So I was like, check off that box. I wanted to see more personalities. I got more personalities. It was fun. And I guess this original cut for this movie was 3.5 hours long.
Oh my God.
But because it included, like, even more personality stuff.
Yeah.
Which, like, blows me away because, like, McAvoy does, like, a good job of, like, differentiating himself and all these personalities and stuff. But, like, how would you even keep them straight in your head at that point?
Yeah.
If you're doing, like, if you can cut an hour out of the film.
Yeah. I'll talk about it more when we get into spoilers and stuff, but I feel like they make him jump around too much with the personalities in this.
I could see that a little
bit.
But
I'll talk more about that when we get into spoilers.
I also really... I might save that for spoilers, too. So... the main therapist that you see in the trailer, Sarah Paulson's character. I can't remember what her character's name is.
I can't remember either.
From the trailers, bringing them all together and like psychoanalyzing all three of these major personalities from these last two films.
Yeah.
Did you think, without really going into spoilers, her initial plan to get these three together was an interesting idea?
Like what she proposed at the beginning?
Yeah. Like, and they're in that pink therapy room and that like whole thing going on there.
Like,
do you think
I think she points out like her main, when they first come together, I think she points out like her main reasoning being that she feels like they are delusioned, like delusional, I think. Yeah, it's pretty much just pointing out like she thinks they're delusional and she just wants to help them like pretty much come back to reality.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I can see that. Like, it's weird because there's a definite twist in this I don't want to give away, but it felt weird that she was so adamant on just these three, because especially where she was like very adamant on like, you think you're comic book characters, where it's like, I mean, that's very specific. Like, you could just take like three people that are just delusional about how powerful they think they are.
Yeah.
But she distinctly points out comic books, where you're like,
I got more to say about that.
That's, I mean, I don't know. Like, it feels like that was a more specific.
Yeah, I want to get into that into spoiler stuff, because that's like a way, like even at the end of the film, that's brought up a lot. Yeah, like she really like draws from, well, they think they're comic book characters, and this is like my thesis of what I'm trying to study, where it's like, okay, but it's like because I think they're comic book characters is not like a disorder. Like, it's just yeah.
I mean, you could think you're anything. I mean, this is like, you're like really you're filing a very, very weird subsect of people.
A very big niche.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I say very big, I mean extremely small niche of things going. It could be just you three.
Yeah. Granted, to not spoil it, the twist at the end, they make it make more sense, but with this, it's like, but while you're explaining, this seems very weird.
Yeah. My initial thoughts seeing the trailer that I've said on the show before is that the trailers didn't look like it had the same tone of either one of the films that came before it.
Yeah.
And I think I was kind of proven wrong on that.
Yeah.
In the first like act of this especially, and even into the second act. Like, it has that slow kind of Shyamalan pace.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, it does feel like this kind of fits.
Yeah.
Like, it's got interesting shots that Shyamalan does. Like, they even do like another kind of upside down shot, like following David Dunn's son at one point.
Yeah.
Where like we kind of pointed that out, that they did that on Unbreakable.
Yeah.
But then like the last chunk of the movie, I feel like goes off the rails a bit. And when I say a bit, I mean like a lot. Like, it feels completely separate from what they've set up.
I really enjoyed the first act of this. I feel like the second act, just by what I feel like in the second act they kind of like restricted themselves by giving characters certain attributes. They restrict themselves on what they can really do, and I feel like they don't realize that till they get to that point where it's like, oh shit. The only person we really have to work with is McAvoy. And like, we're just gonna have him talk to himself, I guess. And then by like the third act, I mean, I was digging it more at the third act, but it was like there was so many more things I liked in the first act that I don't think it ever reaches that peak potential in the first act, where it was like, I mean, this is fine.
The premise that they set up at the beginning of like Act 2, I thought was an interesting one to go with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I want to see where this is going, but then I thought like the middle of the movie really was spinning its wheels to get somewhere else.
Yeah, like,
and then once it got there, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening here?
yeah, like it felt like this movie was like really feeling its budget by like the second act, where it was like, let's just keep repeating the same shit over and over again using different words.
I mean, I during the second act there, when it was kind of just like sitting in these moments, I was kind of bored.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, something needs to pick up here.
And I feel like it didn't have to be that way. They could have easily made it.
Yeah.
If they would have just not done certain things that they didn't have to do.
Yeah. So why don't we just get into spoilers?
Well, would you recommend seeing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're super adamant about seeing this in the theater, see a matinee, but I think you could wait for a home release.
Yeah.
Like a VOD release.
Yeah, I would say that. I would compare this trilogy to like a slightly less Star Wars trilogy. Where like the first one is pretty good, the second one I think is the best, and then the third one is the weakest, but it ties everything up at the end, where it's like taking it all as a trilogy. It's a fitting end, but it's the weakest film out of the three.
Okay,
that's what I would say. I would say like fine. if you're very invested in this trilogy, I would say go ahead and see like maybe a matinee, but you can probably wait to rent this or see it on VOD when it comes out.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, full spoilers.
Full spoilers.
Before we jump into like what the second act plot was, I wanted to bring up something that I thought it was really fun in this, that they used unbreakable deleted scenes for flashbacks.
Yeah.
Because they flash back to certain aspects of like Bruce Willis back on that train, where they just reshot that. And then there's another scene where they're at a carnival in Unbreakable, where like Mr. Glass as a kid
cool scene. Yeah.
was on a ride and like it wouldn't stop and he broke all of his bones and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really a cool idea.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's ever been done before.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really smart to show like different conversations that he had with his son, different things when Mr. Glass was a kid.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to bring that up, but I didn't want to like spoil that.
No. Yeah, no, I thought it was they brought in footage from Unbreakable they didn't use in the movie for this. Well, it's like I feel like especially I loved the Mr. Glass like when he was a kid on the carnival ride, but like them putting that flashback there, I was like, why?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know. Yeah, like it's like
I can't remember the context and why they used it.
Like they do it like right after he gets like an operation, and then like right after they use this laser on him, it flashes to this flashback, and it's like, oh, okay. Like at first I thought they did it because it's like they said something like the laser does something to your brain that like it's supposed to like kind of like eviscerate like the thing that caused you to become who you were. So I thought they were like, oh, the laser's like finding this memory that officially made him Mr. Glass, and then it's like eviscerating it. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe that's why they're doing that. But then they show where it's like he fucked with it, where it didn't work at all. So it's like, so why'd you have the flashback?
Who knows? I don't remember. I can't. I can remember the flashback. Yeah. I don't remember the pre-context.
I mean, it's a cool flashback, but it's like it has no place in the narrative whatsoever. But it's cool. Sure, yeah. I'll say it's cool.
Once I actually thought that the first fight between like the Beast and David Dunn, who is deemed the overseer in this.
Yeah.
As like opposed to
I was a bigger fan of the Tiptoe Man.
The Tiptoe Man, that was good. There were some other cool names too.
Yeah, Green Guardian I think was one.
That was fun. But anyway, he's deemed the overseer in this. He actually meets the Beast fairly early on in the movie.
I was a little disappointed they did it so early. Like
right.
I really want him to build up to that showdown.
Right.
And this was just like, oh, they're fighting already.
Right. I mean, it gets them all together sooner so they can have like what they're setting up.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, I don't know. Because they both kind of fight to a stalemate, whereas like it's not like something where McAvoy's the Beast won and then David Dunn goes to fight him again and wins at the end or something like that. It's just they fight to a stalemate and then they're kind of captured and then they're in that psychiatric facility.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh well, maybe we'll build up to something else.
But I feel like compared to like what we get at the end, this is a more satisfying fight.
It is. Oh, I agree 100%. I liked that whole first act actually quite a bit, like what we said.
Yeah, like the whole David Dunn, like seeing like him and his son working together to like find these people and like working together where it's like his son is kind of like a makeshift oracle where he's like doing all this internet research and like helping him out and stuff. Like especially like based on that relationship you see in Unbreakable where it's like his son like wants to believe he's a superhero so bad and now he's like in his 30s and he's like still kind of like geeking out a little bit where he's like, oh right, my dad's a superhero.
Right.
Want to go for one of your walks and shit like that? Or yeah, like you still kind of like you can kind of see where like how it built up to this just based off of Unbreakable.
Yeah. I actually liked his son's performance in this quite a bit.
Yeah, he's really good in this.
Except right as he's introduced, they like made sure you realize that was his dad because he said like dad 900 times. He's like, "Oh, hey dad, going out from coming in from patrol, dad. Look at all these stats I got, dad." I'm like, "Fuck, I know it's your dad." Jesus Christ. Anyway, that was just one pet peeve.
Yeah.
I ended up liking him in the movie, but I was just like, okay, I get it. It's your fucking dad. God damn.
Well, since now we're speaking candidly, can we just say that Bruce Willis is sleepwalking the fuck out of this match, out of this fucking movie? It's so bad to the point where I feel like M. Night Shyamalan had to throw in lines to address the situation.
To wake him up?
He honestly couldn't wake him up, but like he throws in lines where it's like, there's a line specifically where the son says, "You seem tired, Dad."
Oh, yeah.
And shit like that where it's like, he does not give a fuck in this. And it like brings, and like, I don't think it brings it down like completely, but it brings it down.
And like half the time he's quote in the movie, he's in a big hood, so it's probably not even him in the movie.
Yeah, but like his whole thing is like, he's supposed to be this guy that feels obligated to go out and find these people because he's the only one that can.
Right.
But more than half the time it looks like he could give a shit less.
I know, and it just sucks that's just Bruce Willis. That's like him. It's not. But going back and watching, and from what I understand is that M. Night Shyamalan and Bruce Willis have an amazing relationship.
Yeah.
Like that's why Bruce Willis like will do like any M. Night movie.
Yeah.
Because they like each other.
Yeah.
But like lately Bruce Willis is just like a fucking zombie on screen.
Yeah.
It's boring. Even going back and watching what we're reviewing for Monday.
Yeah.
Like it is night and day.
Exactly.
Night and day.
Exactly. Exactly. I was almost about to say the same thing, that like our Monday review, I'll have more glowing things to say about Bruce Willis and that, but in this, it's like, it's so bad that M. Night was like, we have to throw in some lines to kind of like clue in people that it's like, yeah, this guy is tired and old. Like, because he is just fucking awful in this. He was like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he was as bad as he's been in other things.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like it's not great.
Yeah. And
he's
then when
just
you
sleepwalking.
Yeah, and then when you get to like the psychiatric ward, where I think that's the thing that brings down the second act so much, is like you get to the psych ward where you have Bruce Willis who's sleepwalking and you have Samuel L. Jackson who's comatose,
who doesn't speak for an hour of this movie.
Yeah. And then you get to fucking McAvoy, where it's like he has to like pretty much
carry the movie,
carry everything. And it's like, I feel like they try and make up for it by just having him have as many personalities as they can come out at once, where you're like, well, now you're just kind of taken away from that. Like, the thing I like the most about Split is that every personality that they portray gets a big chunk of time before they're interrupted by something else.
Right.
Where in this, it's like every fucking like 2 or 3 seconds, it's like, here's someone else. Here's someone else. And it's like, it almost kind of even fucks with his performance a little bit, where like some of his like characters kind of bleed into each other, like when they're not supposed to. It's just that he's like trying to maintain a performance, but it's like he's going through 3 or 4 different people in one scene, where you can kind of see that like his performances are kind of bleeding into each other, because he has no real chance to really dive into somebody because he's too busy moving on to the next person.
I can understand your criticism, but that didn't bother me so much. But I was also looking for him to really have fun with like a ton of roles and stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's not terrible in this. I still liked him a lot.
Yeah.
He still has some really cool moments in this. But I feel like there's some times where it's like, when he was Dennis in Split, he was Dennis.
Right.
And there was times in this where like he's Dennis turning into someone else, where like he's not as much like the character of Dennis as he was in Split, because he's too busy worrying about moving on to this next character when he's being Dennis.
I could see that. That didn't bother me, but I understand your criticism on that. So let's talk about the second act, like, kind of story arc introduced by Sarah Paulson.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to like jump to the end here. So
she's pretty much pitches that she's like this experimental therapist who is dealing with this thesis that there's people out there that are so obsessed with the comic books that they in fact believe themselves to be like characters that have these powers, and she is given like 3 days in this like mental institution to work with these 3 to like cure them, and then if she can't, then they're going to do a procedure to their brains that like fixes
maybe
whatever.
Lobotomizes them.
Who
knows?
They insinuate it's going to be a lobotomy.
So that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because the only one obsessed with comic books is Mr. Glass. But I guess in conjunction to that, he believes that David Dunn is like a comic character. But like that wouldn't make any sense for Kevin. Like he's just got DID. But anyway, so she thinks that all of this is in their head, and they believe that they have these supernatural abilities. And she kept calling them superheroes, which made it seem so campy compared to the last 2 films. Like, just say they believe they have supernatural abilities. Quit calling them superheroes. That's what one of my hugest pet peeves of this movie is. Is that, like, M. Night Shyamalan, who wrote and directed this, like, throws a ton of, like, comic book lingo, I guess, in this. That I feel like is trying to talk to the common person as if they are an idiot. And trying to say, like, it's like your comic book movies that you love. These are like superheroes. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, this is poor writing. Anyway, and that goes on for the rest of the movie from here. And it fucking drives me up a wall. Anyway. So her explanation to these 3 are, like, you believe that you have extra sensory mental abilities, that you are able to predict all this, like for Mr. Glass or whatever. He has like super huge brain. And while Kevin may have DID, the Beast character or whatever has like these supernatural like strength and can't be shot and all this. Same with like David Dunn. And explains it to them. That's all in their head, and all of the things that happen to them in their movies could be explained away through these means.
Like she phrases it where it's like yeah, I would have liked it more if she didn't use like the superhero stuff, but I do like when she was like explaining away all the things where it's like she's like kind of like referencing it as like these people want to feel like they are better than what they are, so they like subconsciously put themselves in situations where they can feel superhuman, and then they convince themselves that they are in fact superhuman.
Right.
And I like when she was doing shit like that.
I liked it too. The only criticism I have of that is that I never believed it.
No.
And like going to later on in the movie, I'm like, maybe that's true. But if that was the point of the movie where it was going to take a turn, I never felt like it convinced the audience even that is like actually happening in this.
I feel like this,
where I think it needed to.
Yeah, I feel like this movie, it tried to be the reverse of what Unbreakable and Split was, where Unbreakable and Split were these movies that didn't tell you they were a superhero origin story till the very end.
Right.
And this movie tries to convince you that it never was a superhero origin story.
Right. Which I like. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I just never fell for it.
Yeah. Because I think that's why I like these three films as a trilogy, because like every film, like Unbreakable as David Dunn's story and Split as Kevin's story, and then Glass as Mr. Glass's story, where I feel every film is like the origins of that character and like them reaching their full potential.
Yeah.
And this is Mr. Glass reaching his full potential, where it's like he was so obsessed with finally proving that superheroes do exist, and this is him doing that, like actually like going out of his way to like actually show these people that they really are these powered people that they think they are.
Right. And so from here on out, like it kind of convinces David that like, oh yeah, I'm not like, I guess I'm not the man that I thought I was, or my son
it's like
thinks
David
I am.
never wanted to be.
Right, but then like it takes the most toll on him. But then at that point, he like kind of disappears from the movie for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and the only
he
time
seems like he never gives a shit about anything in this movie. So
yeah,
then
and
it's
then
like
when you check in on him, he's like crying, and I'm like, what? Okay, fine, let's go back to Kevin.
Yeah,
and he's just doing his like 20-man act in his cell.
Yeah,
which like it doesn't make any sense on why he could not break out of there, because at one point the orderly comes into his room and he stands behind him so the light doesn't affect him. Why didn't he just close his eyes and bust out of the room?
Yeah.
What? Like, I guess
you
just fall into the movie and you don't think about those things.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've never thought about him closing his eyes and running.
What? Yeah.
Because all he had to do was get past the light, and then he could really literally do anything.
He could cut fucking loose.
Yeah.
And then David Dunn's room is just... Why would they've ever built this?
Yeah, does the whole thing fill with water?
I think it does.
Because like his weakness is that he's like culpable to drowning.
Right.
It's not that water is like, oh, I'm so weak now.
Right.
I'm wet. I'm so weak.
Right. Because he's had to shower before, right?
Yeah. So like, what the fuck is he? Really?
I'm fairly certain his room floods with water, but like.
But then they have like what? Like they said they have a 30-gallon tank.
No, it's that like
or 300
gallon
tank.
Tank. Yeah.
But then that room has got to fit. Like for the one time they do it,
like
that's gotta that's gotta at least zap 75% of that fucking water. Yeah. So they're just like, oh, we used it once, better refill the big fucking tank out back.
So, and that bothers me too. It's like if you like. I get it. Like, you're culpable to drowning, but you're unbreakable. Like, I think that's a cool weakness.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you, like, after that first stint in that swimming pool in Unbreakable, like, take a swimming lesson?
Oh, God, yeah.
Or something?
Motherfucker can't do shit in water.
Like, it just zaps him. He, like, becomes weak, which I guess doesn't make any sense to me. Just being in water makes him weak.
Well, I never got... Did they say that water makes him weak?
No, but... If you jump to the end of the movie...
Well, he's getting his ass beat by the Beast, though, at the end.
Yeah, for a minute there, but I'll get there at the end because I have a whole
right.
note that I want to jump into
Okay.
on it.
Okay.
So anyway, after some wheel spinning happens in the second act, it's starting to jump into third, where like Mr. Glass actually breaks out of his comatose state,
Yeah.
and becomes full on Mr. Glass, full on purple suit.
And he never was in a comatose state. He
Well,
was acting the whole time.
Right, but like he breaks out of what you believe that he's in.
Yeah.
Becomes full on Mr. Glass and gets Kevin on his side because he breaks him out of the cell too, and he gets on his full purple suit with an MG brooch on his like ascot, and I'm like, you went full in on the supervillain aesthetic.
It's not too far off from how he dresses in Glass or in Unbreakable though. He wears some elaborate ass purple suits.
Yes, he does, but a studded brooch that has MG for Mr. Glass.
It's not too far off from what he was.
It's farther off than a realistic type of.
For a guy who dandied himself a supervillain, he would get an MG fucking brooch made.
I thought it was a little over the top, but because doesn't he get incarcerated like right after that? So when did he ever get that made?
He had it for when he confronted Bruce Willis. He was like,
got it
really...
for his release party of the psychiatric ward. And also, for whatever reason in this too, he has got gross teeth. You know.
Yeah, he had like weird, like it looked like he like chewed on shit.
It did. I'm like, why is that a thing in this?
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's like just some kind of thing where it's like his bones are so brittle that like his teeth are eroding or something.
Maybe. I was like, maybe he just didn't brush his teeth in that place. I don't know. I thought it was an odd choice, and it was distracting.
Like it wasn't like yellow teeth. It was just like he had white teeth,
but like black.
But yeah,
he
looked like
chewed a crayon or something.
Yeah, like he chewed on. Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. Anyway, it was an odd choice.
Yeah,
I don't think I liked it.
For all of that though, I do like the shit they do with Mr. Glass. I think this is definitely Sam Jackson's movie once he finally wakes the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's, like, all of his dialogue's really cool, and, like, when he kind of, like, goes through, like, all of his plan and, like, what he was laying out all along, I thought it was a little far-fetched, but I liked where it's, like, he's so patient that he's just willing to sit back and let everyone pretty much tell them, like, their daily routines, and, like, he just memorizes it, and then works through, like, this is when I can do this, and this is when I can do this.
Yeah. All while this, right before he kind of breaks out, Sarah Paulson tells him that she's installed cameras all over the facility.
Yeah.
So that
just based on, but they installed them just based on the fact that they have like assumptions that he's like breaking out of his cell.
Right.
Like every time like they get like a hint that, oh shit, we think that he broke out of his cell last night. Let's install a camera here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, someone saw him in this area. Let's install a camera here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all like a big plan so that he can lay out everything at the end.
Right. And so he ends up using that to his advantage at the end. Not before he teams up with the Beast to go against David Dunn, but all the while explaining on how fucking comic book team-ups work.
Yeah.
And all this shit. He's like, this is the point where the super villain teams up with the Beast to fight against a common foe. And I'm like, shut the fuck up and just do it.
Well, no,
I fucking hated that.
I didn't hate it because it's him living out his fantasy. This is what he's been building up to his entire life.
I didn't take it.
And he wanted to lay it out. And to him, he's laying it out where it's like, he wants to lay it out like, as he always dreamed it as.
I took it as M. Night Shyamalan treating the audience like an idiot. And I fucking hated every time it was brought up.
I mean, you can, yeah. It is, I think it's a little over-explained when he does it.
It is.
But I think it's it's like Mr. Glass getting to that point that he always dreamed of. Like even at the end of Unbreakable, they always bring up that there's always two different kinds of villains and one major superhero. And this is him finding that like brute villain that he can team up with to finally live out his fantasy of this panel of comic book that's always been playing in the back of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And he's laying it out in through dialogue, like how he always imagined it would be for him.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, yeah, it's over-explained, but it's like, it's him explaining it is like him like being like, oh, and this is where I do this.
Mm-hmm. So it leads him to a huge showdown at the end. All three of them at this point have broken out of their holds, and are have a showdown outside. Where now David Dunn is back out in his overseer outfit, and is going head to head with the Beast, and they're gonna have a clash of titans, which turns into like the most boring choreographed fight I've ever.
There's not really choreographed. They just kind of get themselves in chokes and
they're just like
lean themselves into vans,
tying up with each other and just throwing each other around, and not even a lot.
Yeah,
it's just like shoving each other into a van. And I'm just like, this is so fucking not exciting. For I know that Split and Unbreakable weren't like action-packed movies.
Yeah.
So I didn't really expect going into this that it would end up being like that, but from the trailer it kind of looked like he was going to try.
Yeah.
Because you get McAvoy running like a cat.
Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, I have dreams about running like a cat sometimes, and it looks a lot like how he did in this movie.
Oh my God. All right, Troy.
I don't know why, but like twice a year...
You may need to go talk to a psychiatrist.
Twice a year I have dreams where I get on all fours and run like an animal. That's
one of these days I'm going to look out my work window and see you down in your front yard running as a cat through your... around your house.
Anyway, I felt that their fight was just kind of lackluster. The fight that they already had before this was better.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, I feel like this movie, it doesn't like depend so much on its action. They definitely try to I don't know. It's just it's a weird ending.
Right, because we're not even to like the big major twist of this yet.
No, this is just like the whole like confrontation at the end, like cuz their whole plan, like the whole plan that Mr. Glass lays out is that he wants to have all this take place at this big unveiling of this giant tower,
right, in Philadelphia,
in downtown Philadelphia, so that the world can see.
Right.
And this facility is trying to keep it at bay so they don't get that far.
Right. So, and then I'll let you explain what the twist is that's coming through.
Yeah, so the twist is that Sarah Paulson's character works for an organization that has 3-leaf clovers tattooed to their hands, where they're in charge of pretty much maintaining anything that is deemed like
an anomaly of some sort.
Yeah, like they operate under the idea that all humans should have the same, relatively the same strength and speed and like any type of quality. Like no one should be considered superhuman.
Right.
Otherwise, it would give advantage to certain people over others. So if anything ever pops up like that, they send people to contain it and try and convince them that they're not these people. And then if they can't, then they like pretty much lobotomize them or kill them.
Right.
And that's pretty much what they do at the end here. Like all 3 of them die.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't expect that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But when that twist came, because I knew something else was up with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was waiting for like a Shyamalan.
Too much of her story makes no sense for it to not be a twist.
Right. And when it finally came that was it, I was just like, fuck this. I thought it made it way overly complicated for the 3rd act reveal of this to really lead to nothing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see it as nothing. Like, my whole thing, like what I said before, was that this is Mr. Glass's story. It's like, the whole movie, without you even realizing it, it's pretty much a conflict between Sarah Paulson and Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Where they're never like at blows with each other. They're never yelling at each other. They barely even talk to each other.
Right.
It's pretty much Sarah Paulson trying to convince these two powerful people that their powers don't exist, and Sam Jackson moving everything, all of the pieces around in the background to perform some kind of scenario that shows them not only do their powers exist, but that if there's other people out there that also have similar powers, they can be shown that they are also powerful. Because that's Mr. Glass's whole thing. That was his modus operandi from the beginning.
Right.
Was like, I want to show the world that this comic book lifestyle that I'm obsessed with is a real thing.
Right.
That it's real life. That it's not for kids. It takes place in front of your very eyes, and you may not even realize it, but it exists. And that's what I appreciate about this movie, is that they legit try to make this Mr. Glass's like origin story. He even says this is an origin story.
Yeah.
That this is him finally putting it out to the world that these super people exist.
Yeah, I don't mind that that's like his MO and he wants to do it on a public forum. But when Sarah Paulson is like, I work for this organization that's been around for 10,000 years, snuffing out superheroes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't give a shit about this at all.
Yeah, and it is over the top, but in terms of like a movie where Mr. Glass is supposed to be like the main protagonist, like this is like the ultimate villain for him to face off against, like an organization whose sole purpose is to convince these people that he's trying to convince are super that they're not.
I wouldn't mind, because does he let on that he knows about the society?
Yeah, they do, like, because that's the reason why he's like bugging all these cameras, is because he does catch on that there is some kind of thing going on where they are trying to snuff out this whole thing.
It wasn't made aware to me in the movie that he's aware of the society. He just is aware that somebody is trying to stop him, and he's going to give somebody their...
And it might be that too.
But anyway, regardless of that point, I'm not going to argue semantics with that, because we took different things out of this movie. But like, David Dunn and the Beast... I'm going to go back to that fight for a minute between them, because once Sarah Paulson calls her goons in to like take these super people out, like what's actually kind of cool is that the other three supplemental characters from each of the others, like we haven't even talked about.
Oh yeah, we didn't even
Taylor Johnson,
Taylor Joy,
like
Casey comes back to be kind of like the support for Kevin,
right? Which I actually liked her in this. Of all the supporting characters, I think I liked her the most, actually. I liked Bruce Willis's son.
Yeah.
He was fun.
Holy shit, Sam Jackson's mom in this is just... There's no way that she's his mom. They're the same fucking age. They even make up the fuck out of her to make her seem older.
Yeah.
But like them making her up makes her look Sam Jackson's age.
Right.
Like they look like the same age. Like she looks like she had him at 2.
Right. Well, Sam Jackson actually in real life is 5 years older than her.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're the same age with her with old makeup on.
Yeah.
Anyway, I liked Anna Taylor-Joy in this actually a lot. And I actually thought that they were gonna, once all the action commotion was going down, that either one of those two, David Dunn's son or Anna Taylor-Joy, was gonna actually have abilities as well.
Yeah.
And they never really did it. But if they did another movie out of this, I could see them giving one to Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Because they seem to like focus on like her ability to calm the beast down. And it could be portrayed as like an ability. But I like it also if it's just like, no, it showed somebody compassion, that it was something like him that could calm down the beast.
Yeah, well, she's like the first person to really like step back and actually be like, I want to talk to Kevin. Like, there's first his entire life, everyone has been fascinated with all of his personalities, that they never really give a fuck about Kevin. And she's the first one to be like, no, I want to talk to Kevin. I want to talk to the actual Kevin.
Right. And it also helped, too, that, like, in Split, the Beast forms a relationship with her because they're both damaged.
Yeah.
And so she can approach the Beast, and he's not going to just bear hug her to death.
Yeah. I also liked how, like, these three characters fit together, like, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, of course, the Beast would have a affinity for Mr. Glass, because who the hell else is going to feel more pain than a guy whose bones break on
Right.
by touching him?
Right.
And then, of course, he has a thing against David Dunn, because David Dunn has been through so much shit but has never felt pain.
Right.
So then, like, he feels like he has to take it upon himself to find any way possible to make him feel pain.
Right.
Like, I liked how those three characters kind of fit together, where, like, you can see the motivations of all three of them working together.
Right. So in this whole confrontation at the end, Sarah Paulson calls in her goons. Anna Taylor-Joy ends up calming the Beast down to turn back into Kevin, and that's the point where he gets sniped.
Yeah.
Because now he's not bulletproof.
Yeah.
And he, like, ends up dying in her arms.
Yeah.
Which I thought was handled pretty well. What I didn't like was David Dunn's out.
They just drown him.
They drown him in a pothole.
They drown him in a pothole, and then he's dead, and then no one cares.
And what doesn't make any sense in this, right? So, like, he's fighting the Beast in that water tank.
Yeah.
And he is able to be strong enough to fend off the Beast and punch a hole through this whole tank.
Yeah.
But he also gets drowned by a normal dude in a pothole when he can't. He's got super strength. Fucking do a push-up.
Oh, no, he's still drowned, though. Like, he was in that tank for a while.
Yeah, but he was still able to fend fucking off the Beast and break through it. And
that won't drain a fuck ton of energy out of you?
I get that, but he's unbreakable. Like, that tells me that water isn't...
All the dude had to do was just push his head down.
A fucking normal dude? Are you kidding me?
You brought up an Unbreakable that, like, you were all about, like, oh, I love that he can only lift 350 pounds. He's not a dude that can, like, fucking, like, use his pinky finger and, like, push, like, the earth.
I'm not saying that.
He's super, but it's like, if he's in a situation where he's already weak and can barely move, and all the dude has to do is just push his head into a pothole, he can't stop that. He's fucking already fucking weak. Don't fucking shake your head. You have no idea about the situation. I
saw the situation.
No, but you're just like, he was in a fucking tank. He was near death drowning, and now he was barely able to get out of that, and now he's kind of like he's trying to get back into it, and then a guy just comes and pushes his head into a pothole.
That's right. He only survived a fucking train wreck. That's fine. With no scratches.
Well, yeah, he survived a train wreck into the fucking ocean?
Listen, I think it's horseshit that a normal fucking dude was able just to hold down a super strong guy who just lift his fucking head out of 3 inches of water.
After he was drowning for, like, fucking who knows how long.
But then didn't. But fucking didn't.
That doesn't weaken you? So
not if you're fucking unbreakable.
You read fucking Superman and you're just like, oh, just fucking break that kryptonite rock. What the fuck, pussy?
In Superman Returns, he fucking chucks a kryptonite mountain into the sky.
Yeah, but Superman Returns sucks.
Yes, it does. But fuck you. Anyway, I just want to go on.
I still see it as like he was near death drowning and he's still recovering when he gets his fucking head put into that pothole. It doesn't fucking break it for me.
That's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to argue with you all night over the same fucking point. I didn't like it. And then Mr. Glass dies by getting punched in the chest by the Beast.
And that's also a thing, too, where it's like, so that never struck you till now. Like, you didn't know how your dad... You didn't even, like, check to see how your dad died. The whole thing is that, so... Kevin finds out that his dad died.
Oh, okay.
On the same train that David Dunn was on.
Right.
And then it's like, you're just finding this out now. Like, you bring up where it's like, I don't know what happened to my dad. Or it's like, this train thing was a real big deal when it happened.
Yeah, it was.
It was a real big fucking deal.
Right.
And nothing in the entire time you've been alive ever struck you as, remember that big train thing that happened where that one guy survived?
When you saw your dad off at the train station and then he didn't survive it?
Yeah. Yeah, he treats his dad's death like it's a big fucking mystery the whole fucking movie.
You know what's also fucked up in this too? Like, how much... I mean, you can kind of see that his dad, I guess, cares about his son, because I guess you can put together that he was trying to find a specialist for DID for his son. But, like, he is also with a wife that abuses her kid a lot.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just take him with you, then?
No shit. Like, leaves him alone with a woman who chased her up the stairs with a hot iron?
Yeah.
Burn him?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you married to, you monster? Fuck.
What the... Yeah, this guy is fucked up.
Fuck his family. Kevin needs to get out of there quick.
The fact that your idol is a man that would love a person like that
and leave you with him.
Yeah. Means that you're fucked.
Anyway, everyone is now dead. Your three main characters are dead.
Yeah.
And so Sarah Paulson is like, haha, I've won! The super villainy club strikes again!
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Now we can go into our restaurant and wait for the two people not part of our club to leave.
Right.
So we can get silent and have a meeting!
That was so fucking weird.
Like, why don't you just meet somewhere where people don't walk in?
I didn't... Okay, so this was the one aspect that I never thought about in the movie. It was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, everyone was there in secret. But then somebody else brought up to me, is like, why didn't they just fucking rent a room?
Yeah.
Or, like, have their own secret headquarters. They just
waited.
waited.
Go to a restaurant and just, like, file in every once in a while and be like, let's act like patrons until the real people leave.
Right. Like, how long would they have to be there?
Yeah.
And, like, the first time they do it, they're just segregated off by a curtain.
Yeah.
It's not a door that locks or anything.
Shit. Like, what's gonna keep like a fucking like party of like 5 for a birthday party to walk in right before their meeting and be like, shit guys, we'll keep acting like normal people because these guys aren't leaving anytime soon.
Or like a waiter just comes in and is like, could I refill anybody? And he just hears their whole fucking secret agenda. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, so then she tells him like, oh, we've been doing this for 10,000 years, which I thought was a huge controversy because the Earth is only 3,000 years old. We know this. Right. But anyway.
I love my Jesus.
But also, that doesn't make sense if you believe in evolution, because 10,000 years ago, I don't think that works either.
Ever since we were lizards, we've been following. We've been making sure that there hasn't been super lizards.
Anyway, so that is dumb. I didn't like that.
That is dumb.
I forgot my initial point because we went on about super lizards. Oh, okay. My point was gonna be, it's like, if their goal is to rid the world of these people, why go through the fucking hoop of trying to do this whole fucking complicated psychiatric thing when you can just shoot them?
Well, no. I think my whole thing from that, it's like kind of like a Crucible angle where it's like, because in Unbreakable and in Split, they both had to be convinced that they have these powers before they actually utilize them. And she's trying to convince that this doesn't exist at all to see, because she even like brings it up where it's like it's experimental, where instead of having to go around and kill a bunch of people, if we just convince them that they're not super powered, then we don't have to go through all these hoops of like trying to convince people that, oh yeah, he died in this accident or whatever. Like, you just convince them that they're crazy, and that way you don't have to like explain away why they're not here anymore.
I feel like that is not a good explanation for them to not wanting to be in the world. Why would you just try to be like, no, you're not that, and just still have them around being like, yeah, I am. And they just go on and be super still.
Well, they were about to until like Glass stepped in. Even Kevin or Patricia inside of Kevin was like having doubts.
I get that, but like, let's say they have that doubt, and like 3 years later, they're just like, oh yeah, they're still just lifting cars off people. It's like, but why didn't you just take them out?
But you have to build up to that point, though. Like, when it came to David, he had to build up to that point where it was like, okay, I do have these powers.
Sure.
Like, even when he did do them, he never really believed it. If you convince these people that they don't have these powers, then they won't utilize them.
I think it's a dumb plan. The more I think about this movie, the more I dislike this movie.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way, but I still am like with the whole thing where it's like you saw in both Split and in Unbreakable where it took a lot for them to build up to that point where they actually do embrace that part of themselves that is superpowered. And
yeah.
And this is her trying to find out ways to regress
them.
Yeah, to regress them back to what they were before they realized this potential in them.
I just think that's not a smart plan to have these people still out in the world that could realize that they are superpowered.
Not if you convince them they're crazy, though.
I feel like that's not good enough. If your goal is to take them out, then fucking take them out.
The only person that thinks that they're super is Mr. Glass himself. He's the only anomaly that's really driving this whole thing. If they should have killed anyone, it should have been Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
But they still thought that they could control him, too. So their whole thing is like they don't want to be an organization that goes around killing people, and then people ask questions like, why is this group of people going around killing dudes?
Wouldn't you think, though, if like... So they're being convinced that they're not. But then, like, a week later, be like, I know I lifted, like, 400 pounds. I'm going to try it. And then does, and then he's like, oh, yeah, I guess I am.
But he still has to build up to it, though.
Fine. Build up to it. Then they're back at, their fucking organization's back at square one to reconvince them that they're not super anymore.
Sure, you're really rationalizing this whole fucking shit. First of all, fucking... It's a mind thing.
I get what you're saying.
They have to convince themselves they can do it.
I get it.
So it's not going to be easy to reconvince yourself when you've been it's been beaten into you that it doesn't exist.
I understand what you're saying, but if
it's like saying like, okay, I'm pretty sure I flew, and then someone convinces you didn't fly, and then you're like,
wouldn't I try again?
No, because you're convinced that you didn't.
I think you're full of shit.
That's what she's doing. She's convincing them that it wasn't real.
If I convinced you that you didn't need to have corrective lenses, and then you just saw shitty for the rest of your life and be like, man, I used to wear
reverse. That's the reverse of it, though.
I get it, but wouldn't you be
you're trying to convince me the reverse of it. I do need corrective lenses. So that's why I wear them.
Right.
The more adamant one would be like, if you thought you could fly, and then I told you couldn't fly, and then you said, no, I could fly, and then you jumped off, would you just go up to the fucking top of your house and jump off?
If you believed that you did, and you know that you did, but you were convinced otherwise, but you had speculative doubt, I think that yes, you would.
But that's her thing, is that she's eradicating all the speculative doubt.
All right.
That's what she's doing.
I get it.
She's taking, like, the things that convinced them that they were super, and she's using other means to prove that it wasn't real.
I get it.
So that they think that they are back to being normal again.
I get it.
No, you don't, because you've been fucking
I get what your point is, but what I'm saying after that is that if their organization was to take them out before this, and this new experimental plan still has them out in the world... Like, there's no reason why they just wouldn't probably end up trying to be super again.
No, it's the total thing of the Crucible. Think of the Crucible.
Okay, I'm thinking of the Crucible.
So, like, these people come in...
You're still not going to convince me otherwise.
These people come in and convince people that witches exist.
Yes.
And then people say that they don't exist. So then the end of the Crucible is, well, I have to find a means... I have to, like, say that I'm not a witch. In order to, like, just chip away at the idea that witches don't exist. That's what they're pretty much doing with this, is that, like, They're saying, look, superpowered people have never existed in the history of time. You're not superpowered. Even like the small things that you've done to show that you're superpowered are anomalies. You're not superpowered. And then Mr. Glass is that one thing that says, but you are, and I'm going to show you that you are. And it's not going to convince the world, it just chips away at it until he shows the world. That's pretty much what it is. You've gone an entire lifespan, an entire, like, age on this earth that knowing that superpowered people don't exist. And you're that one anomaly. It's easy to convince you that you're not that anomaly.
I guess. Unless you have the memories of yourself doing those things.
Yeah, like, but in the sense that she convinced you that that wasn't real, though.
I get it. But wouldn't human curiosity make you disprove that?
Human curiosity that could kill you?
If you know you've done it, then why wouldn't you try? Like, some of it is just like bending steel bars. Be like, I'm gonna fucking try to bend that steel bar. That wasn't till
the end, though.
I get it, but never mind.
He didn't bend that steel bar until he was pushed to that scenario that Mr. Glass all set up for the end.
No, I'm just saying, like, Kevin, like, or the Beast going and bending those steel bars at the end of Split.
Well, it was a really shoddy explanation, but she explained it away to where it cast doubt in him.
I get that. Okay, but wouldn't, if you cast doubt in a person like that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but I know I did it. I remember it. And wouldn't you just go up to another bar and be like, I'm going to bend the shit out of you?
Not if you don't believe that you can do it.
Why wouldn't you try if you fucking wouldn't hurt yourself for anything? Like, this isn't a superpowered universe where people are flying or fucking shooting laser beams.
Well, first
they're
of all,
just like lifting heavy objects.
In order for the Beast to exist, Kevin has to believe that the Beast exists.
I get that. That was a bad example, but like David Dunn could do it.
Yeah, but like he's like, I don't know, because he can only like lift like 300 pounds.
And I guess if he's fully asleep in this movie, he'll never do it anyway.
But even like in that scene in Unbreakable, like you brought it up, where it's like he lifted weight, and every time that he lifted weight, it was hard for him because he only thought he could only lift that much weight.
Yeah.
So what if this psychiatrist convinces him that, oh, well, that was just like a fluke thing. You can't do that. And it's like, well, I guess I couldn't.
Maybe I just have too much hubris, but I'd be like, bitch, I'll prove you wrong. And fucking go throw a car on her and kill her ass.
It's just it's a matter of, it's all mental. It's convincing yourself that you can do it. And this chick is convincing you can't, and then you're back to square one where it's like, I guess I can't. That's what this movie's trying to do. I'm not saying that they do it perfectly. I can see what they're trying to do.
Because I fucking hate it. They should just fucking shoot them all in the head if they're an organization doing this for 10,000 years. Or go back to do it when they're fucking lizards and bash them in the head with a rock.
Yeah, and then people are wondering why this organization is killing all these people.
Well, they've held it quiet for meeting in restaurants for 10,000 years, so I think they're not going to have any trouble cleaning up their mess.
Troy, I agree that it's stupid. I'm just saying that I can see what he's trying to do.
All right. So anyway,
Jesus Christ.
There is still more to this movie, but we've been fucking bickering on for like the last 15 minutes. So there's another twist in this where Mr. Glass kind of could figure out what Sarah Paulson was doing all along and used all those cameras to his advantage to record all of the stuff going on outside. So even if his plan did fail at the highest tower in Philadelphia...
I don't think he even planned to go to the highest tower. Like, his whole thing was to have it all take place there.
Well, that's... Oh, I guess it would be. But either one would have worked. So even if he did make it there, he would have his big grand finale event.
Yeah.
But if it still happened here, he had all the footage of all those cameras to record it regardless. And so, like... He ended up dying, which ended up setting up something where all that stuff would be live streamed, kind of. Like, live stream, pre-recorded.
Well, it was recorded. They sent it out, like, later.
But they said live stream to a website.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's recorded somewhere through some
It's another one of those things where I don't even think the people that are making this know how the internet works.
No, they don't. So anyway, it sends it off into, like, an email attachment to our 3 supporting characters.
Yeah.
And then they see it, and they're like, oh shit, this is all the shit that happened at the fucking psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
I'm going to email blast this out to they share it with the internet, and then it goes viral,
Yeah.
proving that all these superpowered people exist.
Yeah.
Which I think is an odd, like, it's another thing where people don't know how the internet works. Like, if I were to see this, I'd be like, cool YouTube video. Like,
Yeah.
if this is happening now, I wouldn't believe any of that shit.
Yeah. Man, they really know how to use fucking Director or something.
Right? Awesome job at Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
Like, so anyway, like, I'm just going to take it at face value. It's like, oh, people are believing all this stuff. And I found it weird that they just waited in a train station for it to happen.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't they just, like, wait on the internet for all these articles to pop
I
up?
don't know.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But, so that's the end of the movie there. Now the world knows that, like, these super powered people exist.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to continue on with this story to more sequels or spin-offs?
I kind of hope not.
I hope not too.
Yeah.
Even though I wouldn't mind more Anna Taylor-Joy in something maybe in this universe, but I could be fine with not.
I wouldn't mind Anna Taylor-Joy in something better.
Well,
because she's a good actress.
She's in New Mutants.
All right, there you go. Go
Catch
check
it
her
on
out.
Hulu.
Check it on Hulu. No, she's in a really good movie called Thoroughbreds. If you want to check it out,
Okay.
She's like, it's like a movie about these like two high school girls that plan to like kill one of theirs stepdad, and it's really good. She's a really good actress. I like her a lot. I think she can be in better movies than this.
I need to. I'm gonna look up Anna Taylor-Joy real quick because I might be wrong with her. She being in New Mutants, and it'll bother me if I don't. I don't want to pigeonhole her into that.
Yeah,
shit.
I know. Arya Stark from Game of Thrones is in it.
I think that's what I'm thinking of. Instead, oh, because she was. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else. No, she is in the New Mutants.
Yeah.
I'm right. Okay. Just had to make sure I got my shit talk in order.
Gotcha.
So okay, yeah, I don't think they. I'm glad that M. Night got, I guess, a passion project of his out.
Yeah.
But I don't really care about that secret society that was set up at all.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a well enough end to a movie. Like, the first two aren't like uplifting really.
No.
They have happy-ish endings.
Yeah.
But I was fine with it. Was shocking actually to find out that like the three main players die in this.
Yeah.
That was surprising.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, I'm like, that's a fine ending, I suppose, for these guys.
Yeah.
A good finale for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't like David Dunn's finale, but I'm not going to go on any more about it. But
David Dunn kind of sucked all the way through, actually, but
just a walking sleeping bag.
good lord, is he? Jesus. Even when they get down to where it's like, I need to save these people, it's like, do you really need to save these people? Because you look like you give a fuck.
It looks like you need to take a nap.
No shit.
So, what would you grade Glass then in your final synopsis?
When I went into this, I was going to give it a C+, but us talking, you're definitely convincing me this movie sucked way more than I thought it did. So, I like a lot of the themes that he tries to convey in this. I think M. Night Shyamalan's being super sloppy trying to convey them. I still stand firm with like what he was trying to do with like the secret society. But other than that, a lot of the shit in this is done real sloppy, like really trying to like convey stuff in ways that make no sense when you really pull all the threads apart. I'll give this maybe a C-.
When I saw this, after just going back and rewatching the first two installments, I was pretty, I wasn't apprehensive so much as I was like more looking forward to it. Because I was like, I liked those last two, and if they fit together and they make it something good in the first act, I'm like, okay, this is kind of starting out like I like it. And like the second act, they kind of introduce that one aspect, like maybe you weren't all this. And I wish that was like the arc throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And the movie did a better job of convincing the audience, like, oh, this was all in their heads. Like,
yeah.
And then they overcome it at the end or whatever, and they
Yeah.
actually are superpowered or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, after that, I didn't care for much of the rest of the movie at all.
Yeah.
And the more I think about the movie since I watched it, I like it less and less.
I'm the same way. I actually came out of this movie liking it quite a bit, and then the more I would think back to it, I'm like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And this is not no. Yeah,
same here. Like, I came out of it thinking it was okay. I'm like, that was okay. It wasn't as good as the other two. But, like, I wasn't even in love with it. And then I'm just like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't like that at all. I'm giving this movie a D.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't care for it.
All right.
And if I think about it tomorrow, I'll probably be like, fuck this movie. Like, out of everything. Like, I don't know. If you really want to see the finale of these characters, like, I really would... Maybe I was burying the lead before by saying see a matinee.
Yeah.
But, like, if you really want to see it, go out and see it, but don't pay full price.
Yeah, definitely not full price. Yeah.
Catch it on Netflix or Hulu or
yeah,
something.
It's disappointing because it's like, it feels like he had an idea on what to do to, like, give Mr. Glass, like, his story. But then it's like, then why the fuck, if this is supposed to be his movie, why the fuck is he not talking for more than half of it?
Right.
It's like, it feels like he made these weird choices where, like, I feel like this movie could have used more Sam Jackson as Mr. Glass to, like, liven it up, to, like, really put in, like, some really cool dialogue, especially with Kevin at certain points. But he's just comatose through most of this, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. It's, like, frustrating how it's like nothing goes on for a big chunk of
time. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's my grade. D.
I mean, I'm not gonna fault you for it. I think C- is more probably a wishful thinking kind of rating, because I just wanted this to be better than what it was.
I had an idea of what it was gonna be. And, like, I guess maybe if they wanted to do that secret society thing, this is just like an armchair screenwriter here.
Yeah.
But, like, have it be that, like, Sam Jackson is, like, he finds out about the secret society, and maybe it's not as big as it is. Yeah. But, like, he's trying to overturn them, but they've convinced already, like, Kevin and I forget his name already. David Dunn.
Yeah.
They've already convinced them that they're inferior. They're not. Yeah. They're just regular people.
Yeah.
Then Mr. Glass has to go and convince them that they are, to fight against, like, that, to make it like a kind of like a big crescendo of an ending.
Oh yeah.
And they end up crippling, like, that society in the process, as well as going public. Like, that would be a big, amazing ending. Yeah. And instead they leave it kind of open-ended for maybe a sequel bait type stuff.
Maybe.
But I don't think it worked at all.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a universe that should probably just end
here. Just stop.
Yeah.
Before it gets any worse.
Yeah.
Well, besides that, is there anything else you were into this last week, JT?
Well, I saw as I brought up earlier, I saw the film The Happy Time Murders.
Yeah.
It's up for a Razzie, so you know it's good. It's not good.
I never thought it did.
If you...
I was curious to see it, though.
Yeah. I wanted to get into it just because it's like... I love, like, concepts where they take things that are, like, generally, like, child-based, and they just, like, dirty the fuck out of them.
Uh-huh.
And if you like that, you'll probably really like maybe 10 minutes into this movie. Because it's like, okay, I got it. And then it's like, no, you don't get it. We're going to keep giving you puppets that say fucking shit and bang each other. And all right, man, cool. I'm like, you're not doing anything funny. You're just having puppets just yell curse words at me for a fucking hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the mystery in it doesn't really, not really that compelling. It's just, it's not good.
All right.
So Happy Time Murders, check it out. Fucking Christ. And let me think. I had two other things. I watched a movie called Blind Spotting.
Uh-huh.
I really fucking liked it.
I think I was also hearing somebody else talk about this.
Yeah. I knew that it came out, but I never really heard a lot of people talk about it. And then I heard a review where people really dug it. So then I just added it to my Netflix queue, and it was like literally the next thing to pop up because it was like, this came out like 2 months ago. You should have watched it right now, fuckhead.
Right.
And so I watched it, and goddamn, like I'm like kind of pissed that it's not really like up for an Academy Award, because like if the Academy Awards are really trying to pull out movies that really try to sum up how people are feeling nowadays, like Blind Spotting is like the epitome of it.
Okay.
Like you're following this guy. He's like this black guy in like the projects of Oakland, and he's like, he got out of prison like a couple years ago, and he's like on the last 3 days of his probation. So he has to be like squeaky clean. Like he has to make sure that he is like living the best 3 days ever before he's actually considered free. And then like on that day that they start on, like he witnesses like a police shooting.
Oh Jesus.
Where it's like well then fuck, do I like fucking tell people? Do I like let this out here? And if I do, would it put me in danger of like actually getting put back in jail? And in the same time, he has a friend that's white who also is grown up in like the Oakland projects, who is just living super fast and loose. Where it's like he's like buying guns, he's starting fights, and the guy's like, "You're like my best friend. I want to hang out with you, but I can't be around this shit because I am who I am."
Right.
And it really sets up really well like fucking like culture versus race, where it's like this guy gets away with so much shit only because he's white. He's pretty much the same person as this other guy, but it's like because the other guy's black, he gets blamed for everything his white friend does. And it's just, it really sets up like these really cool situations where it's like, man, we're kind of fucked when it comes to color in this country.
Yeah.
Like you could literally be like, you could be the guy like trying to calm down a situation, but yet because you're the black guy, then you're the one that's to blame for everything.
Damn.
But it's so fucking good. They really lay it out in a way where you really sympathize with him. And even the guy that like starts all this shit, like he's a cool guy.
Right.
He just fucking loses his shit every once in a while. You can see why he's friends with them and why he hangs out with them. It's just that in certain situations he gets set off, but he feels like he can because he's never had the same trials as like his black friend has. Where it's like it's really well done. I keep my 2018 list and I like update it whenever I see things from 2018 that I like more. This is really fucking high up there.
That sounds super interesting.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so definitely check out Blind Spotting. I liked it a lot.
Okay. You're not the only person that said they really liked that too. I can't remember who else gave it a glowing review, but they liked it.
Yeah, I really, really, really fucking dug it. And last thing I saw, I watched the first 4 episodes of Punisher season 2.
Oh, okay.
And I really like the first 3 episodes quite a bit. Like because it's like a whole thing where Punisher he's like on this like road trip, like he's like trying to like find himself, whatever. He's like pretty much like in Ohio or some shit, and he like gets involved in this. He gets involved in the situation with this girl who's like trying to avoid these dudes that are trying to kill her. And it's like it's just a thing where it's like it's like a Desperado type thing. Like he moves into this town, some shit gets started, and he moves in and fucking kills these dudes. And like now he's in the middle of this shit with this girl, where it's like it feels like kind of like a runoff story. They even do like a episode where it's like they get holed up in a police department where they're like surrounded by dudes with guns. Like it's like an assault on Precinct 13 kind of shit where it's like, this is kind of cool. I'm liking where this goes. And then the 4th episode kicks in, and motherfucking dumbass chick cop from the first one finds out Frank is doing stuff and sends a helicopter out for him, and then they're stuck in her apartment for 2 episodes straight, and they're bringing back all these fucking characters from the first one. Fucking Jigsaw is a stupid dumbass. Like, he's not even really that deformed. He just has a few scars on his face.
Right.
And he has a dumb shit fucking mask they bought from fucking dollar store that they just wrote on. It's legit. His mask is a fucking, like, those, like, plain white masks you buy from, like, Party City that cost, like, 50 cents.
Uh-huh.
They bought one of those, and they just fucking wrote, like, a bunch of, like, skull stuff and magic marker on it. That's his mask. Like, I'm on episode 5, and I was falling asleep. It's so fucking boring.
There was somebody on Twitter I saw that said, like, all right, I'm in, like, the second... I'm 2/3 the way through Punisher, so now I can just kind of not pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
And get back to the story in, like episode 8.
The first 3 episodes are pretty strong, I feel. Like, it feels like they're doing, like, a road trip thing, where it's him going cross-country, avoiding these, like, bad dudes that want to kill this girl, and he just gets in random fights every once in a while and fucking murders dudes brutally. I'm for that. Let's do that shit.
Right.
But then they get to where it's like, no, we need to be a continuation of season 1. We need to send fucking dumbass Madani in a helicopter to pick you up because she feels butthurt that Billy fucked her and left. That now she's like, you need to find Billy, Frank, and I'm going to make sure that you do because I'm going to have you stay at my apartment for God knows how fucking long where you do nothing but just sit and eat breakfast for 2 episodes. Like, literally, thank God these Netflix shows are dying off because they do not fucking know what the fuck to do with these characters anymore. They do 13 episodes and they just waste a bunch of fucking time. They fucking suck. I'm done with them. If they put out, I heard they have a Jessica Jones season 3 coming out. I don't give a shit anymore. Fuck these Netflix shows. I'm done with them.
Especially if they're just gonna cancel them. Why jump on them right now? Just watch them.
I know. Like, I went into Punisher because I was like, season 1 was good.
Yep.
They ended on a really good note. I want to see what they do with Jigsaw and shit. And it's like they started out where it's like, oh, they're not even doing anything with Jigsaw. They're gonna just go into this fucking like road trip movie with him and like this teenage girl like avoiding these fucking dudes trying to kill her. Nope. They legit get picked up by a helicopter, brought back to New York just for the same bullshit we've experienced for all these fucking Marvel shows.
Right.
Where it's that bloat, they don't know what the fuck to do with themselves. So fuck these Netflix shows. Thank God they're dying off. I'm done.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I was only into one other thing this last week. I partook in half of the Fire Festival documentaries that came out over the last week. I watched the Hulu one.
Yeah, me and Molly watched the Netflix one.
I couldn't remember which one was deemed the good one, so I started with Hulu.
Yeah.
It was okay. Some parts were kind of laughable in it.
Yeah.
But it did. I was surprised that the guy that put on the Fire Festival was even interviewed.
Yeah.
Was he interviewed in the Netflix
No,
one?
I think the Hulu one was the only one that could get him.
I was like, why would you damn yourself like this?
But no, the Netflix one gets a guy that was like his right-hand man that really lays out some really fucked up facts.
I heard about that. So like I would recommend watching it because the whole thing is like a big just clusterfuck of things that happened.
Yeah.
And the way how it even happened is just like genius at the same time as awful.
Yeah.
So
it pisses me off because, like, my rants on rich people.
Yes.
Where I feel like there's people that act in certain classes in this country where it's like they don't even understand that there's people that don't operate on the amount of money that you do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, your whim could be someone's livelihood.
Yes.
And that's exactly what this motherfucker is.
Yeah.
Like, he moves into an island and then promises to pay a bunch of people that depend on that payment, and then he's like, well, I can't pay you. What's the big deal? Just go and fucking just go and live in your yacht that I have, you know? What's the big deal? Everyone has that. Like, no, they don't.
Right.
You stupid fucker.
Right.
You need to have every single asset of yours drained from you and live on the streets for a fucking year. So you know that there are people that literally have nothing.
That aspect wasn't actually brought up as much in the Hulu one.
They pound it home in the Netflix one, and I think that's why I think that one. I've heard that one's better.
Yeah, I think once I watched the Hulu one, I'm like, I think the Netflix one is probably the better one. But what the Hulu one did is actually get an interview with the guy, and shows like how scammy he was with his about getting the money, and how he stole from Peter to pay Paul, kind of stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And like that's like kind of like how it showed him, and like with the actual interview, and showed some stuff with Ja Rule, and it's like, holy fuck.
Well, in the Netflix one, they actually interview people from the Bahamas that were
fucked out of all that shit. Yeah, that's what they only showed, like 2 people in the Hulu one, that were pretty much told him like, this can't happen, like there's no way it can happen, but then he forced it through anyway. But then that's about as much as it gets to.
Yeah, no, they really go in depth with like people on the island, where they show like how they were promised all this shit, and they were so like, wow, I'm really looking forward to this, and then it just he fucks them so hard,
right?
Where it's like they interview this woman that runs this bar and restaurant that was kind of like the focal point of like where people were supposed to meet up, and like she was supposed to cater the entire event, and it was like he didn't pay her shit, and then all this food that she had to let go to waste because there was no one there to eat it.
Jesus.
So then like she had to like basically like drain her life savings just to pay off the people that were supposed to be like hired for this fucking event. And it's like this Billy McFarland guy could give less of a fuck because he's a affluent piece of shit.
Yeah, the Hulu one also goes into more of, I don't know what I guess the Netflix one even has, but like it goes into more of the people that were also invited. It has a lot of like people from Instagram, the Instagram influencers.
Yeah.
Like their aspect on things that happen there too. And it
they don't
shows
do that too much on the Netflix one. I kind of want to check the Hulu one out to see.
It like shows their point of view of only like three ones in majorly.
Yeah.
But like I don't feel bad for them because they get paid thousands of dollars to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck you. I don't care that you
Yeah.
got screwed over. Like,
yeah.
You fell for it.
They say how much Kylie Jenner got paid just to put a hashtag up, and it's like
$250,000.
Fuck you.
Yeah, for one fucking
that could
post.
fucking feed a family of 5 for like 3 years.
She got paid more for that post than what Chelsea and I both bring in for more than 2 years.
Yeah,
probably more than that.
And then she's gonna probably spend that on a fucking like ring or some bullshit.
Who gives a shit?
So fuck these people. I hate this culture where they feel like they need to live this lifestyle because it's like, it's who I am. It's not who you are. You could literally help so many fucking people with the amount of money you piss away every fucking day. So fuck you, and fuck your idea that you need to feel like you need to fucking live this way. You stupid pieces of shit. I gotta be all heated, Troy.
Sorry, I'm gonna wrap things up here. So, if people want to get heated with you on the internet, where can they do that?
You can find me at Bucky41 on Twitter, also Bucky4 on Instagram, here at Bucky1 on Snapchat. Troy.
You can find me at Short of the Max on Twitter. You can find us both at Review Pod on Twitter. You can have all of our episodes new uploaded onto Facebook.com/ReviewReviewPod, as well as other platforms such as ReviewReviewPod.podbean.com or Stitcher or Spotify or YouTube. Oh, excuse me.
My goodness.
Or
you're Durston hard over here.
Player FM or Google Podcasts or Alexa devices. All those options are available to you. If you like to use Apple Podcasts, if you're there, why don't you rate and review us, because that helps other people find the show if you like it. And you are more than welcome to send us an email at reviewreviewpod@gmail.com. That is the show.
Yeah. We got really ranty there.
Yeah, we did. Well, almost throughout the whole review of Glass, we got very ranty.
Yeah. But we both agreed that it wasn't that good.
Right. So I don't know what the fuck. Well, at least we came out good at
That's
the
right.
end.
We're still friends.
That's right. For now. For Monday, we are still going to be in the Shyamalan sphere of influence.
Yes, yeah.
But
we're going into a different Shyamalan dimension.
Yeah. The ghostly dimension of The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic.
Since we're talking about Shyamalan's last film, let's talk about his first big hit.
Yes.
With The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. So join us on Monday for that review.
Yeah. And then next Thursday, we're doing the winner of the Tournament of Random Movies 4.
I don't remember.
That's 4. It's 4.
Now.
It's 4.
Okay.
It's 4. With Jerry Maguire.
Oh,
which is pretty fitting because that weekend is Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, very good.
So we have it.
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
All right, sweet deal. So those are our next 2 episodes. JT, I'm excited.
I don't think I've ever seen Jerry Maguire all the way through. I'm really pumped to see how good or bad it is.
Solid. Well, until Monday, JT, where we review Sixth Sense, I have been Short of the Max Extreme.
I am JT3K.
And we are off.